Hey everyone, welcome to our email marketing full course by Simplilearn. Email marketing is still one of the best ways to make money online. While other marketing methods come and go, email keeps delivering results. And that's why 80% of the businesses still use it. But here's what's changed everything, that's AI. These smart tools are making email marketing more easier and powerful ever before. In this complete course, we are going to take you from zero to hero. We will start with the basics, what is email marketing and why it works so well. Then we will show you how you can build your own email list from scratch and write emails that people actually want to open and read. And the best part, you will learn how AI can do heavy lifting for you. We are talking about AI that writes subject lines, personalizes content for each subscriber, and even handles customer response automatically. We will cover everything from using Mailchimp to advanced content writing techniques. And by the end of this course, you'll have everything you need to launch a successful email campaign. Also, if you're interested in building career in digital marketing, then Professional Certification in Digital Marketing by SP Jain School of Global Management is a great place to begin. SP Jain's 8-month live online program will help you master key skills like SEO, SEM, social media, mobile marketing, marketing analytics, and even the latest Gen AI tools. You will learn by doing with 20 plus real world projects, 10 plus case studies, 35 plus marketing tools used by top professionals. By the end of this course, you will have a certificate from SP Jain and Simplilearn, and you will be fully prepared for job in digital marketing. Whether you're a beginner or a professional, this program is definitely going to help you a lot. So guys, hurry up now, enjoy the course. The course link is mentioned in the description box.
This is Rob Sanders with Simplilearn, and welcome. Today we're going to talk about email marketing tutorial. So buckle up and let's get started with email marketing tutorial. And so let's start out asking the question, why email marketing? So Linda is the owner of an e-commerce company, and basically she isn't able to take her leads, the leads she's collecting per day, per month, and convert them into customers. Okay, so customers sign up, but they don't buy her product. So she's left scratching her head wondering what to do. So how's she going to solve the problem of converting the leads she gets into paying customers? Well, look no further than email marketing. So you can boost your sales funnel with the help of email marketing. So email marketing leads to email campaigns that lead to website visits that can lead to product purchasing. Email marketing is also it's a very good way to generate a high return on investment. So Linda thinks this is too good to be true. You're telling me it's a very efficient way to generate a return on my investment? How expensive is email marketing? Well, email marketing is neither expensive or time consuming. That's the beauty of email marketing. And so Linda is now very interested. We've piqued her interest. She wants us to explain email marketing to her in detail. And that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to talk about email marketing in detail. So for everyone out there listening, what's in it for you? Why are you going to invest your time in listening to Simplilearn and me talk about email marketing? Because we're going to talk about everything there is about email marketing in today's webinar. So what is it? For those that aren't really familiar with the intricacies of email marketing, we're going to talk about how to set up email marketing. We're going to discuss all the benefits of email marketing. We're going to get into A/B testing. We're going to get into the automation of emails, the types of emails, how to engage new users, and we're going to give you a demo. So there's a lot going on in this webinar. Like I said, buckle up and let's get started and talk about what is email marketing. So as I mentioned to Linda, it's an efficient way to convert leads into sales. Why? Because we can send personalized emails to a specific audience, a targeted audience. If somebody's interested in our product, we can reach out to them via email. It can also be used to remarket pre-qualified leads. So anybody who's pre-qualified, we can go ahead and communicate with them as well. So email marketing is very effective at different stages in the funnel. Okay, so when I say funnel, customer life cycle. So we have awareness, consideration, purchase, retention, and advocacy. Okay, so let's talk about each one of these parts of the funnel or customer life cycle, if you will. So let's start with awareness at the very top. So email marketing allows customers to recognize their problems, after which you can educate them on how your brand can solve them. Okay, just like any other marketing channel, somebody's looking for something, a need of something, we can come to the rescue. In this case, we're going to come to the rescue with email, and we can go ahead and educate them on what their need is and how we can collaborate with them, help them, educate them, solve their problems with our product. Okay, so that's what email is going to do. We're going to communicate with them via email, and we're going to bring awareness to the problem by solving the problem. That's what email is good for. Okay, good for generating awareness for our brand. For example, we can share a newsletter with our customers. So if we're running a cosmetics company, we can basically educate them on the 5 important skincare products that everyone should have. Okay, so we can get them to click on the call to action to learn more. So if somebody's having some skincare issues or not sure what products to buy, an email can cover that. Okay, the next step in the customer life cycle is consideration. So customers focused on searching for relevant products and compares the products with similar ones. Okay, so they're definitely looking, they're a little further in the process, they're educated, they know what they're looking for, so we can really hit them with the right email. We can send a relevant email to promote our product. Okay, discover that perfect moisturizer for your skin, that perfect skin moisturizer. Smooths, hydrates, and contains SPF 20. So we got the perfect product for that person who's further along the funnel and really is ready to purchase that product. So we can hit that person up with the perfect messaging. Let's talk about purchase, the next step in the life cycle. With purchase, we can send an email that encourages that customer to purchase our product by offering them something. Okay, by giving an offer. For example, we can give a discount. Discounts always tend to work. So that moisturizer that particular customer was considering buying, they can move from consideration to purchasing because we're going to offer them a discount they can't refuse. Okay, so it could be for a specific date. Okay, it could be something that's going to get them excited to buy the product. 20% off a moisturizer is pretty good deal, and especially if that percentage off is better than the other products they were considering buying. So getting somebody that extra incentive to purchase the product goes a long way via email. Okay, we want to take that next step in the life cycle and nurture our relationship with customers to ensure they're loyal. Okay, they've already purchased. How do we get them to purchase again? That's retention. We want to retain our customers. We want to get them back to buy the same product or similar products or completely different products in their inventory. So what do? We're going to send an email. We're going to send an email to active customers. Okay, we're going to give them an offer just for them, exclusively just for them. In this example, we're going to give them a combo pack, a facial kit at just $39 and get a sunscreen worth $10 for free. Okay, so you can come up with all sorts of different combinations on offers. The key is the offer is exclusively just for those who you want to target and retain as customers. Because if you just get somebody to purchase once, it's not going to work. Those people have already taken that step in the relationship where they trust your product, they purchase your product. Now you want to go ahead and treat that customer special by giving them an exclusive offer. And then what we want to do is advocacy. Last step in that customer lifestyle. We want to convert that active customer into brand advocates. Okay, we want that customer to talk about our brand for us. We want them to promote it and talk about it with their friends. So for example, we want to send an email to those customers to promote our products. Okay, so for example, we could say, hey, the sales of our products for this particular day or for this month is going to go to our favorite nonprofit. Could be educating poor children or cleaning up plastic in the ocean or saving animals. We want to be able to get them to speak on our behalf and say, look, guys, this is a really good company. They're offering me products exclusively. They've offered me discounts in the past. They have good products. They have a lot of different products. And on top of all that, they help. They help the environment. They help the needy. Okay, they care. And so we can go ahead and provide a call to action for these customers that are loyal to our brand and have them share the email with their friends to spread the word on, what we're trying to accomplish for our nonprofit, or if anything, just get them to promote it. Maybe give them a discount for every friend that they get to buy our product. Okay, it doesn't have to necessarily be, just sharing with friends. It can be that extra incentive of giving them a discount if they do share with friends and their friends buy. Okay, so this is the customer life cycle and examples of different emails that you can use at every step along the way in the life cycle. So let's talk about email marketing setup. So email marketing setup, we have a series of steps that we need to go through in order to get our email set up to go ahead and send out to our target audience. And that first step is we want to identify that target audience and create segments. So if you've taken and listened to some of my webinars in the past about Google Analytics, about Google Ads, we talk about segmenting. So it's about targeting a specific audience. That's what segmenting is, taking a piece of the whole. So we don't want to email all users on our list, all customers. Maybe we want to target a specific segment. Okay, so we want to be able to identify that segment. Who is that segment? Is it somebody or is it a group of people, or, a partial list of our customers who purchase a specific product? I would say so, versus say our entire list of customers, because our entire list of customers can purchase a number of different products. And so by targeting a specific segment of our audience or our customer base, we can hone in on the message. So if they all have something in common, like they all bought that moisturizer, then we can go ahead and be specific with our messaging. Then we want to create campaigns and set an appropriate call to action. Okay, so what is it that we want to say to these people, this segment of users? Then once you create that campaign and set up the messaging and call to action, we want to test the email before we actually click send. This is a very important step. Test that email before we send. And then when we send the campaigns immediately, or we can schedule a time. So my advice here is always schedule a time. You want to be able to figure out the best time to send that email. And then once the email is sent, whenever that is, you want to be able to analyze performance. And there are some key metrics that you want to hone in on when we talk about email marketing. And some of those are open rates, click-through rates, okay, response rate. Okay, so we want to be able to hone in on certain key metrics when it comes to emails. So here's what we need to do: create our list, add contacts to our list, create our campaign. Okay, we want to select the list, choose a format, modify the template, and then send the email campaign. So these are some basic checklists that you want to do. So let me give you an example and go to Mailchimp. So if I'm in Mailchimp, basically I'm going to create a campaign. Okay, so it's an email that I'm going to work with, and you can see with Mailchimp I have some examples here: regular, automated, plain text, or A/B test. I want to do a regular email. Hey, I'm just going to call it test, and I'm going to click begin. Okay, so we want to add our recipients. Who are we going to add? So we're going to choose our audience. Okay, so we're just going to choose a sample test for now. Okay, we can personalize the to field if we want. Okay, so what do we want to do? We want to call people by their first name, their last name, their first and last name, or we can customize it. Just go with first name to keep it a little bit personal. Okay. Then we have the subject line here. So it's all about messaging, right? So whoever we're targeting, we want to be able to add a message. So we're just going to say, and subject line is very key here. So you want to have a subject line that's really going to resonate with your audience. So whoever that segment audience is, we want to make sure that the subject line is going to resonate with them so that they can open up that email. Okay, so we'll just say, have any good day. We can make it better. Just as an example, something that's going to be attention grabbing, if you will. Okay. You can always tweak the subject line. In fact, my advice is always do A/B testing on the subject line, so you can do 2 different subject lines with one email to figure out which one has better open rates. And then with Mailchimp, we can go ahead and design the content of our email. So we're going to click Design Email. Okay, we can select a template. We have some saved templates already. Okay, or we can go with a theme. So Mailchimp has a lot of good offers. Now there's a lot of different email platforms out there. I particularly like Mailchimp because of this very feature. They have a lot of good themes here, a lot of different layouts that you can use. Okay, so we're going to showcase that product. Okay, and that's the template we're going to use here. So here we go. We're going to showcase our product. We're going to add that photo of our product here, and we're going to go ahead and put some nice messaging in here with some nice call to action. We can put our logo up here for branding. Again, we can edit the content here. So based on that segmented list, in this example, for Linda's company, maybe she wants to target those folks who bought her moisturizer before, her face moisturizer, and she wants to retarget them. She wants to go ahead and say, hey, you guys have bought my product before. Check out this new face moisturizer that we have to offer. So whatever the case is, you want to be able to plan that out ahead of time. You want to be able to plan out who your audience is. You want to plan out your messaging, and you want to go ahead and set up the messaging based on that audience. So once you have the messaging in place, voila, you're more or less ready to go. Okay, so once you get the content all set up, you can schedule that campaign, okay, and you can also add a social post to your campaign, so we can share that information on social. So email integrates nicely with social media. So again, that's pretty much what you need to do here. You need to really think about who it is you want to target. Choose those recipients, okay? Customize it, make it personal. Create a good subject line. In fact, create 2 subject lines, and then align that content with that audience. Okay, that's really the checklist here. So again, we look at this checklist, creating our list. Who do we want to send the email to? So we added our contacts to the list. We set up the campaign. We selected the list. We chose the format. We modified it with a good subject line, with some good messaging, and then we're going to schedule that email campaign. So that's the checklist to go off of. Okay, so remember, identify target audience and create segments, and then you create that campaign. And in our case, we did set an appropriate call to action. Get shopping, basically. We want people to shop our new moisturizer. Key thing here is before we send it out, we want to test that email. Once everything looks good, we're going to, I would advise schedule it, but you can always send the email when you're ready. I would schedule it at the appropriate time and day. Okay, so in this case, you don't want to send an email out on a Friday afternoon, okay, when people are getting ready for the weekend. You certainly don't want to send an email out over the weekend because you're not going to have many people look and open it. And you probably don't want to send the email out on a Monday morning when most people are getting into the office from a long weekend and catching up on emails. So from my experience, Tuesday, Wednesday, depending on your time zone, I would always say, late morning, early afternoon tends to be a good time, but that's why we have performance. That's why we can analyze performance. We want to be able to see what the open rates are and the click-through rates are so that we can make adjustments for future emails. So let's talk about some of those metrics. So when you do send that email, we're going to look at that open rate. And so open rate is the percentage of the total number of recipients who open an email. So, okay, so if we basically, send it to X amount of people, minus those emails that have bounced. So let's just say, we sent it to 102 people. Okay. For simplicity's sake, 2 of those emails bounced. Okay. So that means that we've had 100 net 100 emails that received the email. And let's just say 75 opened the email. Okay. We wrote such a good subject line that they opened it. Okay. That's 75%. That's a 75% open rate. And that's how you measure open rate. Click-through rate. Okay, so if they open it, we hope that they click on something. And so for all of those emails that were delivered, okay, in this case 100, how many actually did click on our call to action? So let's just say 75 opened it out of the 100. That's a 75% open rate. But of the 100 that actually were delivered, let's just say we had 25 that actually clicked on the call to action. And so that's 25%. Okay. And so you want to be able to measure not only who opens it, but who clicks on the call to action. So that's click-through rate for email marketing. And then response rate. So it's the percentage of the total recipients who clicked on a link of your email campaign and actually completed the action. So in our example, we're trying to get people to click on the shopping call to action and get them to purchase. So we sent 100 emails, and of the 25 who actually clicked, we had 10 who actually took action and purchased. So 10 divided by 100 is 10%. So you have open rate, click-through rate, and response rate. Those are some key metrics for email marketing. Okay, the first step is you got to get people to open it. That's where the subject line is so important. Click-through rate, that's where the messaging and call to action is so important. We want to get people to click on that call to action. And then the response rate, we want them to buy. So those are 3 key metrics related to email marketing. So let's take a look at an example. If we go back to our email marketing platform, Mailchimp in this example, we're going to take a look at some reports. So most email marketing platforms have reporting functionality built in. And so in this case, what we want to do is we want to be able to take a look at the open rate, click-through rates of the emails that have been sent out previously. So here we could see our April email, coupon versus tools promo. Okay, so we've had basically, opens and clicks. So 14% open rate, 1.4% click-through rate. Okay. So the March email that went out did a little bit better, 19% open, 2.5% on the click-through rate. So here we could see how many people actually were sent, how many opened it, and how many clicked. So this is Mailchimp, makes it very easy for us to measure open and click rates. And then we can measure by revenue as well based on the campaign. So that's measuring the response rate. So it's all built in. So most email marketing platforms have open rate and click rate already built into the functionality, so you can measure those 2 metrics against any email. So let's talk about the benefits of email marketing. So what are some of the benefits? Well, we've already mentioned to Linda that it's cost effective. It's time saving, real-time marketing, less intrusive, builds credibility, increases visibility and brand awareness, and it's an easy way to track ROI. These are all the benefits for email marketing. And we're going to go talk about some of these now. So basically, when we talk about cost effective, some email marketing platforms charge based on the number of users who you send the email to. Time saving, well, you saw how quick it took me to set up that email campaign. The key is figuring out who you want to send it to. When we talk about real-time marketing, we're sending this email out basically in real time, trying to meet our customers' needs at the right time. It's less intrusive because we can customize the emails. Okay, we can, as you saw, I can put first name in there to make it more personal. So when something's more personal, it's less intrusive, especially if it's a segment that already knows your brand. Okay, builds credibility. Hey, we gain credibility when we offer exclusive offers to repeat customers, or, try and build advocacy by working with nonprofits. Okay, it increases visibility and brand awareness. Why? Because, we could send our email out to a large group of people, and that's a good way to generate brand awareness. And as you saw, we can easily measure, not only open rates, click rates, but ROI. So how many people from that email went on and purchased? So we can measure that. It's very easy to measure email. So let's move into A/B testing. So A/B testing is key to email marketing. So in email marketing, gaining high open rates and click-through rates will result in more website visitors and sales. Okay. In theory, that's what's supposed to happen. We get more opens, we get more people to click. We get more people to click, we're going to get more people to purchase. Okay? But it's not as easy as it sounds. So how do we make that possible? Well, We're going to do that via A/B testing. I've already mentioned it when I set up my example campaign in Mailchimp. I stressed and stressed and stressed that we need to have 2 subject lines go out per email. Okay. So before I stress that again, let me just reiterate what A/B testing is. And A/B testing is a method to analyze which of the 2 email campaign strategies is most effective in terms of high open rates and click rates. Okay, so in this case, in A/B testing, you can send out 2 emails. You can send out 2 subject lines. You can send out 2 call to actions. You're just really what you're doing is you're testing one against the other. That's what A/B testing is. And so in my example, I talked about that subject line. So for better results, A/B testing can be done with the subject line. It can also be done with the email content. So the subject line impacts the open rate. Okay, so I wrote a subject line. I don't even know how that subject line is going to perform. But if I write a second subject line, then I'll be able to basically give myself a better chance of getting a better open rate because I'm offering up 2 different subject lines. Likewise for email content. So the subject line and email content are the most important elements. So we want to be able to test them. If they're interesting, intriguing, attention grabbing, then it's gonna, in the case of subject lines, result in open rates. If the content itself is interesting, engaging, a good offer, good call to action, then the click rates are going to be increased. So we want to be able to serve up variations for our audience. So we want to consider an example of an A/B test where Linda has set up 2 variations of the email campaign as an example. So she's going to send 2 different subject lines to test which one generates more open rates, because that's what subject line A/B testing is going to do. One of them is going to have a higher open rate. Okay? So in our example here, Linda sends version A of the email to 50% of the recipients with the subject line, 3 important strategies to increase your open rate. Well, version B, which is sent to the other 50%, has the subject line, 3 important strategies to increase your open rate. So the only difference here is 3 and 3, the number 3 spelled out. Well, because she sent out 2 different subject lines, she's going to now be able to measure the success of that A/B test. Okay. And it just so happens version A has a higher open rate. Numbers always tend to work in subject lines, by the way. So Linda sends version A of the email to 50% of the recipients. Okay, $80 today, but $90 tomorrow. And version B to the remaining 50%. $80 today, $90 tomorrow. And the only really succinct difference here is using the word but versus a comma. And she sent that email out, and that email went out, and the data is coming in, and she's going to measure the success of that A/B test. Well, version B has the higher open rate. You know, we want to be short, succinct, and stay away from those conjugations like but. Okay? It tends to have a negative connotation. So the shorter, more direct email or subject line, $80 today, $90 tomorrow, not so passive, more direct, and that tend to have the higher open rate. So you always want to test those subject lines to generate high open rates. Another example here. Version A again gets 50% with the subject line, uh-oh, your prescription is expiring. Version B, your prescription is expiring. You folks listening to this webinar right now, wonder which one you think will perform. Go ahead and put your comments right below this video. I'm curious what version of the subject line you would open. So let's go ahead and measure the success of the A/B test. Okay, so she sent the email out, 2 different subject lines. 50% got one subject line, the other 50% got the other subject line. And it just so happens version A. Uh-oh, your prescription is expiring. There's a little bit of a, personalization to that. For me, your prescription is expiring seems to be a little bit more, commandish. Hey, your prescription's expiring, so we expect you to purchase. Where you have the little uh-oh in front, it's like, hey, I think your prescription's expiring. Maybe you should think about renewing it, okay? I think that's how that's interpreted. At least that's how I interpret it. So I would probably go ahead and click on that email with that subject line. So you could see subtle differences in the subject lines make a big difference in open rates. So in order to keep improving those open rates, you need to continue, and not continue, you should always do subject line testing. Always, because one subject line is always going to have a better open rate than the other. So always do A/B testing when it comes to subject lines and email content for that matter. Okay, so we're always going to do continuous A/B testing. So with continuous A/B testing, we can test various elements of the email. So you can always test the sender's name, the subject line, the copy, the call to action, the design, the imagery. There's a lot of different elements you can test with emails. For example, sender's name. Okay, so you want to personalize it as much as you can. Okay, you don't want to do a no reply. You want it to come from a human being. In this case, Sam. Okay, at least that's what I think. Let's see what the test states. No surprise, version A has the higher open rate. If you customize these things and personalize them, then it goes a long way. Sending an email from a no reply is not a good best practice. Let's talk about the subject line again. So we got webinar, increase your email open rates. Webinar, increase your email open rates. So the webinar is dynamic on version A. Okay, so we're sending that out. And because it's dynamic, that's going to, beat out the static. Webinar, increase your email open rates. A lot more elements we can test here. So for example, the email copy. So learn some easy ways to increase your email open rates. Join us on May 10th, 2019, 7 p.m. for an interactive discussion with our experts. Well, version B is more personalized. It's the same message, but we're actually addressing someone specific, in this case, Rachel. So we can measure the success of the A/B test, but it's no surprise that anything that's customized, that comes from somebody, a name, with a dynamic email subject line, is going to perform better. It's going to increase open rates, and it's going to increase click rates. So we can also test that call to action. The difference here is coloring. Save my seat yellow versus save my seat blue. Again, go ahead and play along here. If you're watching this, go ahead and add a comment and just see if you're right. You think it's blue or you think it's yellow on the call to action. Color does go a long way in email marketing. So let's measure the success of this A/B test, and it just so happens yellow is going to perform better. Why does yellow perform better than blue? Well, it's more positive. Plus it kind of resonates a little bit stronger and easier. Okay, it stands out a little bit better. It's not as pastel-y and dull as this shade of blue we're using. So you can see here, we're testing every bit of the elements of the email. Anything from the from, to the subject line, to the message, to the call to action. And so at the end of the day, you want to be able to send out the best email that's going to give you the best results. So we're going to send that out, the entirety of the email, and we could see version A looks a lot better. And why does version A look a lot better in this example? Because look at the font size is a little bit bigger. Version B, font size smaller, harder to read. That's another thing you can test. Larger fonts tend to do a little bit better. Now you don't want to go overboard and have them, 48 points or 50 points or plus. 14 versus 12 goes a long way. We can continue testing. We can test imagery. You can see here we have a hand aligned with the call to action. They just look different. That's all. Version A has one type of hand. Version B has the other type of hand aligned with the call to action. Let's go ahead and send out that test and see what works. Well, version B works. Why? The hand stands out a little bit more clear. It doesn't blend in with the call to action. So you can see we're testing different elements here, and we're always improving and adding to what's working. So we started out with a no reply versus somebody's name. Then we moved to a subject line. Then we moved to personalization. Then we moved to call to action. Then we moved to an increased font, meaning the design. And then we're adding imagery. So we're constantly improving the email with each test. Eventually, you're going to get to a point where, the email is going to be good, and you're going to just continue to test different options on it to continue to increase open rates, click rates, and response rates. final output looks like this. Again, that personalized email response from Sam versus no reply. We got a nice dynamic subject line. We got a personalized email to Rachel with larger font. Okay, we got a nice call to action that stands out with a nice image to accompany that. So we've tested all these different elements. This is the best combination based on everything we tested. So when we get that email to go, this is what it's going to look like in the future. But guess what? We're not going to stop testing. So we can continue to test those subject lines, continue to test the messaging, continue to test the email design, continue to test different call to actions, continue to test different images. You're never going to stop testing with email marketing. Okay, so let's switch over to how to optimize the subject line. Subject line is such a key component to email marketing. So as we showed you in the last segment, we tested a subject line and we used a number. The number 3 versus 3 spelled out. Just so happens that numbers tend to do a little bit better. They're shorter, easier to read, and they resonate better. So include a number in your subject line. You can include an emoji in your subject line. Emails come a long way. Emojis aren't just social media based. You can use emojis in subject lines. I'd highly recommend it. I just sent out an email last month with a subject line about, spring showers bring May flowers. And guess what emoji I had in that subject line? A flower. Okay, may sound cheesy, but it goes a long way. So according to Experian, subject lines with emojis can increase open rates by 45%. People resonate with emojis, especially if they're positive emojis. Okay, so we want to personalize those subject lines for better open rate. Okay, when I say personalize, don't be so stale. Remember that subject line we tested, uh-oh? Just putting uh-oh in there made it sound like we actually cared. It was a little bit personal. It wasn't so personal, we weren't addressing a specific person, but one little word goes a long way in a subject line. Because when people get emails and they read emails, and a lot of people are inundated with emails, the subject line is what they're reading first. And just by personalizing it, adding a number, adding an emoji, and just making it positive and easier to read, they're likely to open that email. So personalized email messages can improve click-through rate and open rates as well. So you want to personalize your email as much as you can, whether that be from the from field to putting that person's name in the salutation. So personalized subject lines have been found to increase open rates by up to 50%. So don't come across as spammy, come across as you know who your audience is and you're talking to them. And then you will want to prefer title case subject lines. So title case subject lines. For example, when I say title case, Game of Thrones is my favorite show. Every initial letter in that title is capitalized. Okay, you can go with the sentence case. Game of Thrones is my favorite show. It doesn't stand out as much. Of course, if you go with lowercase, it definitely doesn't stand out. It looks illiterate, and somebody's probably not going to open it. So you always go with that title case. Every initial letter gets capitalized. So how to optimize that subject line? Well, watch the length of your subject line. You want to be conscious of character counts. So 17 to 24 characters. You want to keep it short, succinct, and to the point, but personalized with an emoji, with initial caps on each word to make it stand out. But you have to do that within 17 and 24 characters. So according to Campaign Monitor, the ideal length of a subject line is up to 24 characters, and they're more likely to boost those email rates. Okay, so keep it short, but make it impactful, make it personalized like I mentioned before. If you get too long, then it may get cut off and it may not have the same impact as something shorter. So that's why we always recommend keeping it up to about 24 characters. Okay, if you go over by a couple characters, not the end of the world, but try and stay within that range. Develop a sense of urgency. Okay, so when we say sense of urgency, we mean sense of urgency, meaning if that coupon's going to expire, you want to let people know it's going to expire that day or the next day or within a few days. Okay, so you can use things like hurry up or limited offer or limited stock or offer expires on. Okay, so add a bit of sense of urgency. I mean, the sky's not falling here, but if that coupon's expiring at the end of the week, you probably want to mention something to the effect of, hey, offer's expiring, or hurry up. So let's talk about optimizing your email content. So we focused a lot on subject lines. Let's talk about the email content itself. So some ways to optimize email content are, we want to send the content that is relevant to customer expectations. So content needs to match that expectation. We want to use bullet points to make the content readable. We want to follow logical structure. We want to use compelling imagery, and prefer design emails with responsive designs. And what we mean by responsive design is, hey, most people are going to be checking that email on their mobile phone. Okay, so make sure when you design the email, it's also going to be good, not just on desktop, but on tablet and mobile as well. And then of course, this goes without saying, but avoid grammatical mistakes. Go ahead and spell check it. And that's why we put an emphasis on testing your email before you actually send it. And when you actually send an email, test email, don't send it to yourself. Send it to colleagues, send it to another group, a fresh set of eyes that is going to be able to pick out that misspelled word that you overlooked. So I can't stress the sending of the test email, because it's going to be able to, in a way, ensure that you're doing everything on this list. In addition to grammatical mistakes, the person who's receiving your test email, your colleague at work, may be looking at that email on their mobile phone. And if it doesn't look good to them, they're going to let you know. Some other ways to optimize email content: personalization. So we did that on the A/B testing. You always want to personalize it. Question is, hey, do I use first name? Do I use first and last name? Well, guess what? You can test that, but you want to personalize it. Okay, you want to choose the right fonts and colors for your email. So when we were going through some examples on testing, I always tend to go a little bit larger on the font, but you could play around with it. I don't think you should probably use white lettering on a black background. That just is not very good or best practice, but go ahead and try it if you want. Okay, you can always play around and test these, but you want to choose something that's really going to resonate with the recipient of the email. Okay, you want to build a rapport with customers by sharing insights they value. For example, the beginning of this webinar, we talked about advocacy. We talked about, sharing with them some of the nonprofits that we work with as a company. Okay, if we have a cosmetics company and we have different products like moisturizers and facial creams, we may want to state that, hey, we don't use any animals in the testing of these products. We're pro-animal. We're not going to use animals in the testing of our products. And that probably resonates with a lot of your customers. So you want to go ahead and build a rapport with those customers by sharing those insights. Okay? And use recipient names. And you always want to personalize it. And then add a clear call to action at the end. You always want to have that call to action, regardless of what the email is. Hey, it could be just a simple read more, or hey, donate. It doesn't have to always be so hardcore in terms of, hey, purchase our product. That could be a turnoff, especially if you're sending emails out once a week to your customer base. If you're constantly hammering them with buy now, buy now, buy now, they're going to get turned off. So you want to mix up the call to actions. And that goes back to the very first step. And what kind of email are you going to send out and who are you going to send it to? So you have to align those two. If it's somebody who doesn't even know who your brand is, you're not going to put a call to action of buy now. You're probably going to say, hey, check us out. We have some cool stuff for you. Okay, let's talk about automating emails. Email automation. So triggered emails are sent to customers based on an event, date, or user behavior. Okay, so when we say an event, it could be a special occasion like Mother's Day. Okay, it could be a date like a birthday or anniversary or a specific day of the week. It can also be based on user behavior. A good example of user behavior are those who abandon the cart. You can trigger an email. In fact, Mailchimp has remarketing functionality. So with Mailchimp, hey, if somebody abandons our cart, we can have an email triggered. And we could send an email, a nice email that says, hey, we noticed you didn't finish purchasing our product. And I'm not sure what happened, but hey, here's another 10% off. Or you can always just make product recommendations as well. But you want to react to user behavior and use emails to your advantage for that. So you want to be cognizant of different occasions. You want to be cognizant of special events, holidays, etc., and user behavior. So these types of emails can be automated because you know when they might happen or that they are probably going to happen. So autoresponder emails are sent at frequent intervals based on the behavior of subscribers. So for example, if somebody purchases something, then you're going to get an email that probably says, hey, thank you for your purchase. Another email that says, hey, your product's on its way. And then another email that says, hey, your package or product has been delivered. So that's an example of an automated email that goes out. If somebody purchases your product, you probably want to thank them for that. And then you probably want to let them know that, hey, it's on its way. Here, you could track it. And then again, you want to confirm that it's been delivered, but thank them again. So that's an example of an automated email that goes out. Okay, let's talk about types of email campaigns. So we have different types of email campaigns. And the first is a newsletter. So with email newsletters, subscribers are connected and informed about product updates. So it doesn't necessarily have to be a product they buy. It could be a product they subscribe to, like software. Okay, you always want to be able to send out that newsletter to let them know what's going on with your product. Are there upcoming product updates ahead? Is there one that just happened? Is there a webinar that discusses the new product update? So that's what the newsletter is going to do, inform the end user about the update. So how to optimize. Okay, so you stack your email content, create a compelling header, share different variety of useful content like videos, articles, etc. with those recipients, and then follow a consistent schedule. So that's how you handle a newsletter. You should always create a compelling header, but if you're going to send out a newsletter, make sure you support it with some good information, like a video that they can go watch, or an article that will follow up on what you put in the email, or promoting that webinar that's going to talk about that product update. Okay, so example here is a newsletter that gets sent out, and here you can see it talks about business process. It's got some nice imagery in there. Okay, call to action. It's got a little bit of everything in this email template. Okay, and that's when we talk about stack your email content, that's what you talk about stacking. You can see at the top, it's got work with the industry best. Subscribe now. Okay, they validate that with 25 years of top-notch service. Then they talk about hiring the best talent. Then you got the next bit of content below that. So that's stacked email content. Okay, that's going to be supported by a compelling header. And then they're going to share a variety of different content in there. Like there could be clicks in there to videos and articles. Moving on from newsletters to promotional emails. So we want to be able to drive revenue by sending special offers through promotional email. Okay, so how do we optimize a promotional email? Well, we want to personalize the campaign. Okay, promotional, we want to definitely personalize it. Include time-sensitive offers. We want to get people to react. Okay, so that means, adding a sense of urgency in the title and the subject line. Okay, you can send offer emails on holidays. If it's Mother's Day, hey, send it a couple days before or even send it on. If it's personalized, then you can say, hey, so-and-so, we know you're a mother. Here, take 20% off. I mean, that kind of personalized email with an offer goes a long way. Here an example from Tom's. Limited time, extra 20% off all styles. They include the code in there. Okay. Again, you can see the sensitivity and the sense of urgency with the limited time. Another email campaign type, and personally one of my favorites, is abandoned cart. So abandoned cart emails. I like working with abandoned cart emails because, we want people to purchase. And as much as you try on your email marketing campaign to drive traffic to the website, and as hard as the website works to get people to convert through the shopping cart, it's never going to be 100%. And so abandoned cart emails give us that extra incentive to get that person back to the shopping cart to purchase. Okay, so these emails are shared with customers who have added product to their cart but didn't finish through the checkout process. In other words, they didn't purchase the product. So it's an effective way of sales recovery. It gives us another opportunity to reach out to that person who just is almost there but not quite ready to finish the purchase. So what are we going to do? We're going to send out an email for those that abandon their cart. And we're going to use a simple abandoned cart email template. Okay, you want to be simple here. You don't want to get complicated. We're trying to make this easy for them to finish purchasing the product. So we want to definitely personalize it. Okay, we want to send a series of email reminders. Okay, in your email reminder, add a product image. So as customized as it can be, it could be even the product image of what they've abandoned, and that's the best practice. So if it's that facial moisturizer that Linda's trying to promote and she can't quite get enough people to finish purchasing the product, they're abandoning the cart, well, she can certainly send out the abandoned cart email. Okay, so for example, you want to personalize it. Hey, you forgot to complete your order. You left something in your cart. Can we help? Email 2. Hi there, so-and-so. Items in your shopping cart are selling out quickly. It's a gentle reminder. Okay, so come across a little bit different here. Okay, email 3. Hey, so-and-so, 20% off on your cart. Valid until so-and-so. Offer on your favorite product. So the first email that went out in the series of emails, it's, hey, you forgot something. Hey, is there anything we can do to help you complete the product purchase? Email 2 is just that gentle reminder. Hey, we're selling out quickly. You might want to purchase that product. And email 3 is to really help them along by saying, hey, here's 20% off, valid until so-and-so. So just a small series of emails that go out, try and get somebody back into the shopping cart. Okay, let's talk about re-engagement campaign. So in a re-engagement campaign, it's a series of emails sent to inactive email subscribers. So what it does is it boosts engagement and helps to maintain a high inbox placement ratio. Inbox placement ratio. So we want to be able to make sure that we're getting people back on our subscriber list. So how are we going to optimize for something like this? This is, these are difficult type of email campaigns. We're trying to re-engage with people who are inactive. So we want gamification to re-engage subscribers, or we want to prefer subject lines like, hey, we've been missing you, or did we do something wrong? Okay, we can run a poll or competition to re-engage with our subscribers. So for example, hey, we'd hate to miss your birthday. Go ahead and update your account. This is a Starbucks email. So we'd hate to miss your birthday. So it's that, message of missing you. You can always soften or sweeten the deal with an offer as well. So that brings us to how to engage with new subscribers. So we just talked about re-engaging with inactive. We want to talk about engaging with new subscribers. So how to engage with new subscribers? Well, thank your subscribers for joining. Create clear and compelling subject lines. That is a must regardless of what type of email you send out. You always want to send out that compelling subject line. Okay, notice the good examples within 17 to 24 characters. Know the ideal time to message. Okay, again, sending it out on the weekend's not going to work. Okay, sending it out during the weekday, in the morning, mid-morning, sometimes in the afternoon works. It really depends on who your audience is. But weekends probably aren't going to work. Okay? Avoid the no reply sender name. Again, personalize it. You're either Sam or Rob or so-and-so, Sally. Let them know that the email's coming from a real person. Okay? Because if it doesn't come from a real person, most people aren't going to respond. Okay? We want to let our subscribers know the privacy policy. So we want to let them know that we abide by a privacy policy. Okay, that's getting straight with people who are new. They don't know your brand. They don't know your privacy policy. They don't want to get spammed. In other words, so putting that out there makes you more transparent and trustworthy. Okay, and again, personalization. Always personalize. If it's new, if it's inactive, repeat customers, loyal customers, lifetime customers, you should always personalize. And you should always be courteous and always thank them. And then prefer attractive email designs. Okay, work with something that's going to be eye-catchy. And then most important is include an unsubscribe link. I can't tell you how annoying it is to get an email and not have the unsubscribe link there. That makes me want to unsubscribe. Even if it was a good email, I still look for that because maybe they're a good company, but they're spamming me. They're sending me too many emails. So maybe I want to unsubscribe or change my subscription. So you always want to include that unsubscribe link. In fact, in the United States, it's actually law. So There is regulation about that, around that. So you need to include an unsubscribe link. It's just common courtesy, if anything. So it bodes well. Okay, of course you don't want people to unsubscribe, but you don't want them to get annoyed either. Okay, let's talk about email marketing tools. So we talked about Mailchimp. So there are plenty of email marketing platforms out there. I use Mailchimp. I've used a few in the past, like Marketo. I've used Zoho, Vertical Response. So there are a lot of different tools out there. Here, some of them, again, Mailchimp, Marketo. Marketo is a marketing automation tool or system, and Marketo is good for sending those automated emails. HubSpot, ConvertKit, Sendinblue, Aweber. I mean, these are just some of the many that are out there. Okay, so let's show a demo again of an email marketing campaign. So let's show an example of a newsletter that one of my clients had sent out. And so this is Paul Ekman Group. Paul Ekman, Dr. Ekman inspired the TV show Lie to Me. So well known in the industry of micro-expressions. He's the aforementioned expert in micro-expressions. And he sends out email marketing campaigns. And he sends out a monthly newsletter. So this is a newsletter that was sent out in November 2018. And if we look at it, you can see here, okay, it's stacked content, nice imagery, okay, respectful disagreements, how to deal with disagreements this holiday season. So really relevant, personalized, and timely because it was set in November during the holiday season. So got some nice imagery there. Okay, we got content in here. And then right below that on the stack content, what do we have? Final hour, 24 hours, 25% off. So that sense of urgency built into the email. Then here you go. You have some other content in there based on the face of contempt. Okay, just an example of a micro expression. And then right below that, what do we see? We see a call to action. Learn how to use micro expressions to your advantage. So call to action here. Then we have some more information here with the learn more. So a newsletter that went out, basically a blog post built into the email with some nice content, reminding folks, hey, they have 24 hours, got some other useful information in the email. So this email went out, very timely, 98,000, okay. See subject line here, controversy, respectful disagreements, and Thanksgiving, okay. Could the subject line be a little bit shorter? Yes, possibly, but if we look at the open rate, 15%, 16% open rate, okay. Industry average in education and training is 18%, okay. So they're close to the industry average. On the click rate, 1.6% on the click rate, industry average 2.1. So we can see what the top links were clicked. Okay, so they have a lot of links, and Mailchimp will help you measure what links were clicked the most. Who subscribed, what subscriber with the most opens. We can see opens by country. But that's an example of a newsletter for this particular company. Okay, stacked content, okay, sense of urgency, okay, you can see the subject line, timely newsletter. So this is I think a good example of an email for the time of year. Okay, so let's go over the checklist again for email marketing. So good reminders on the checklist. This is a checklist. You want to make sure all boxes are checked. You want to create interesting subject lines as they boost your open rates. Direct correlation with open rates is subject line. Okay, you want to keep your content relevant and consistent with your brand. You want to check the sender name. Okay, so you want to make sure not only is it personalized, but the name aligns with the email address. Okay, you should always personalize. Always personalize the subject line and the email copy text. Meaning, don't just say hello to Sally, Pete, Rob, Michael, etc. Always include an unsubscribe link in emails. Okay, give people the option to unsubscribe. Okay, you can always re-engage them another way or later on, but you don't want to irk any one of your potential customers. Use A/B testing. We talked about A/B testing in the webinar. There's lots of different elements we can test, from subject line to content to font to call to action to imagery to subject line, etc. There's no shortage of elements in an email you can test. You want to use welcome emails to build good customer relationships. So when somebody signs up for a newsletter, send out a welcome email to them. Hey, welcome. Thank you for signing up. You should always segment your list based on user behavior. So you have a group of people who purchase product A, customize your email for product A, but you can mention product B and C in there, but know who your audience is so you can talk to your audience. Okay? And you can always ask your subscribers to update their preferences as well, because you want to make sure you're sending out emails to the right person, right address. Okay, so this is a short checklist. Now we can expand upon this, but these are some of the most of the key items when it comes to email marketing. Some other items on the checklist include features such as countdown timers and live polls. Okay, make it interactive. Okay, choose the right email frequency. Don't be sending emails 3 or 4 times a week. Once a week is probably as much as you want to go, depending on what it is. If somebody purchases something, then you probably want to send an email thanking them for the purchase, another one letting them know the product has been shipped, and another one with thank you, the product has been received. Reward those subscribers. Send out exclusive offers. Okay, make sure your emails are optimized for mobile. That means send out test emails and check it on different devices. Okay? Create a schedule. Okay? You can automate these emails, so create a schedule that makes the most sense. Have a footer and a header in the email, and in that footer and header is going to be some information. Okay? Just like I showed you with the microexpressions, there was a footer and header. Avoid spam filters. Okay? How do you avoid spam filters? Well, apply best practices. Okay? Don't have spammy subject lines. Have an actual name associated with the reply to email, and split up your list as well. When you send out one email to 150,000 people, it could probably get caught up in some spam. So segment out your audiences. Keep your audience list short so that your messaging can be specific to the audience. That's going to help avoid spam. And then, of course, you always want to measure and analyze results. So remember, a lot of these email marketing platforms have the results built in, especially open rates and click rates. Some key takeaways from today's webinar. We talked about what is email marketing. So email marketing really is an effective way to really get a good message out to a target audience. There are plenty of benefits. It doesn't cost a lot of money to do email marketing. Okay? You can do it in real time. It doesn't take a lot of time. Okay? And you can get some ROI out of it. We also talked about A/B testing. That's a very key component to email marketing. If you're going to do email marketing, at the very least, test those subject lines. But there's so many different elements you can test. Okay, we talked about the types of different email campaigns, from newsletter to promotional, abandonment cart to re-engagement, re-engaging those inactive users. So each type of email campaign is going to contain a different way to talk to them. Okay, how to engage with new users. Okay, so we went over a best practices list for engaging with new users, some of which means in personalizing. Okay, you always use an attractive email. You want to come across the very first time with the right way. Always, always, always create a clear and compelling subject line. If it's a new or returning recipient, you always want a clear and compelling subject line. And then there's plenty of email marketing tools. I showed you Mailchimp. Mailchimp has some really good features in it. If I go back to Mailchimp again, just to drive home the point. Okay, so you can look at really specific data per email. It has reporting built in. It has all these nice little templates built in. So you can create a template. Okay, you can leverage a template. Okay, there's lots of templates you can use. You even have a content studio. So it has a lot of features built into the platform. This is just Mailchimp. I mean, Marketo and HubSpot and Aweber and all these other platforms do very similar things. You just have to pick the one that works for you the best.
In today's video, we are going to be talking about Mailchimp, one of the leading email marketing services that you can find online. And today I'm going to show you all the ins and outs, what you can do with it, how you can set up emails, how you can send out newsletters, and how you can even use Mailchimp to create a landing page. But before we go into this, If you enjoy this video, click the like button, and if you want to join the Simplilearn video community, click the subscribe button down below. So let's get into this. Email marketing. Email marketing has been around for quite some time. Email is one of the most popular forms of communication. Billions of emails are being sent around the world every single day. In the early days, there was no email marketing. In the early days, I remember when there wasn't even an attachment that you could do to an email. It was just a text-based message to your colleagues. And if you were lucky, somebody else had an email address that you could send an email outside your company. But things changed. Email became a bit more advanced, and people started to use email to send emails to bigger groups of people. And in the early days, that was just done by copying every email address in the email sent to list. And what you had was what we call the BCC. That was the blind carbon copy. And if you added 20, 30 or 40 email addresses in a blind carbon copy section of your email, then nobody else would see who that email would go to. So that was kind of the very first way of sending emails in larger quantities to groups of people. And that soon became email marketing. Of course, the IT department didn't like that. The IT department of companies, they saw unexpected email traffic to maybe hundreds of people through the company's email system, which would clog the email system, which would slow things down, and which would sort of impact the productivity of other people in the organization. So they had to do something about that. And the very first email marketing systems were developed by IT departments in-house, where you would then have to give your email addresses and the email that you would like to send to somebody in the IT department, and then they would look after sending it. But that was all still very basic. You didn't have a lot of information about who received the email, who would open the email. People not even, you couldn't even know that, but where people would click on an email. So there was a clear need for a service that would deliver a much fuller scenario for email marketing. And then when the internet came along and software as a service developed, there was obviously one of the first areas that many software houses jumped onto, was to come out with an email marketing service. Mailchimp is an example of that. Yeah, there is Constant Context. That was one of the first ones that I used to work with. And there's a whole range of email marketing systems. But I have always kind of liked Mailchimp because of its simplicity, because of its simple interface and its pricing as well. Yeah, up to 500 emails, Mailchimp is free to use. Now, what started off as a simple email marketing system, so you put in your email addresses, you create an email campaign, you link the campaign to the email addresses, and then you send it out. Mailchimp would take care of that, and then Mailchimp would also give you the reporting. Now, these email marketing systems, they became more and more advanced. They knew that digital marketing is not only email marketing. There is now pay-per-click marketing, there is social media, there is influencer marketing, there is advertising, you name it. So they had to enrich their services. And you will see that when we go into Mailchimp, that there is now a whole range of additional services, even down to developing your own website, that Mailchimp can offer you. But at the core of Mailchimp is its email system. So let's go and have a look into how to use Mailchimp and how to set up your first email campaign. So if you go to mailchimp.com, you can see here a little overview of what it does. Then again, we're going to go into automations. I'm going to show you some of the analytics. I'm going to show you how you can segment with Mailchimp and how you can synchronize with other applications in Mailchimp as well. So lots of stuff that you can do. Here is a little promotional video. And here is the pricing. So you can see that a free version gives you limited functionality, but it does give you all the functionality you need to send emails to up to 500 contacts per month. Yep, and then it goes up to £11.70, and then the premium version gives you all the full features, $299. But let's focus on the free version. Again, that's what I kind of like of Mailchimp. So let's go into my account. Yes, so I go on to let's have a look. I'm logged in. Yeah, so here is my audience. So here you see the features that Mailchimp has to offer. So first of all, there is create. You can create campaigns. Yeah, that is where you run your email campaigns and where you create your marketing campaigns. A very important part of your Mailchimp is your contacts or your audience. Of course, if you don't have any emails in your database, as it were, then there's not many people that you can send stuff to. So contacts are very important, that you get an email list that you can connect with your campaigns. There are automations that you can do, which basically means you can send emails automatically. There is analytics. There is website, you can create your own website and modules of it. There is content, so that is sort of your library of assets. And then there are different integrations that you can do. Here you see kind of your dashboard of the campaigns, and this is your audience dashboard. So the very first thing, of course, that you need to do when you are starting on Mailchimp, that is create an audience. Yeah, and that's where you go into your contacts. So there is your audience dashboard, as you see here. You can have an overview of all your contacts. You can create sign-up forms that you can add to your website to capture people's email addresses. There are tags that you can set to contents. You can group your contents into segments. And you can do surveys, and there is your inbox if people send you messages. Yeah, so lots of functionality, but your first challenge will be how to get your emails. And there's lots of ways to do that. First of all, there may be your existing customer database or your existing customer list. You probably have them in a spreadsheet. Yeah, so what I'm going to show you in a minute is how you can enter or import that spreadsheet into Mailchimp. Yeah, so that is one way. Second, you can actually set up on your website a form that people can fill in to sign up for your newsletter, for instance. Or you can run a campaign where people go to a landing page, and if they download a certain piece of documentation, then they need to give you their email address. Yeah, so there's lots of ways. Another really effective way, if you're at an exhibition, for instance, have a little box on your counter where people can leave their business cards. Yeah, and then you can take all of that information and put them in your Mailchimp. So the question here then is, of course, how do I bring contacts into my Mailchimp audience? So let's go to all contacts. Yep, and then you see I already have 2 contacts in my MyCo. That's the name of my audience. Yeah, so I'm going to add additional contacts. I can get an overview of my contacts. I can add contacts manually. I can add a subscriber. Yeah, and then I can just put in the name. Yeah, so that is Mark at Simplilearn.com, and then it's Mark. There is Simplilearn. Don't have to put in address. I can get phone number, I can get birthday, I can get company name. That would be Simplilearn. I can add a tag, So that would be training, add or create a tag. Yeah, that could be training. There's my tag. Now, very important, what the Mailchimp wants to know, that the people that you have in your database, that they gave you permission to email them. Yeah, there are very strict requirements these days for people, yeah, that you need to respect their privacy. You need to have permission before you send them an email. Yep, and there's different ways that you can ask that permission. You can ask it on the website before they fill in a form. You can ask it in your newsletter. Yeah, so make sure that you have those permissions, because if people get unsolicited email through a commercial email campaign, yeah, in principle that is not allowed, and you may be subject to a fine. You may have heard of the GDPR regulations in Europe, and there is also regulations in the United States, there's regulations in Asia. Yeah, there's a real tightening of those privacy regulations when it comes to email marketing. If this person for some reason is already in my audience, then I can update, it will update their profile. So let's click subscribe. Let's see. There's probably one field I forgot. Phone number, that is 075. Yeah, so the phone number was a required item as well. Yep, and then I click subscribe. So if I now go back to all contacts, you will see that mark@simplylearn.com has been added to my database. So that is one way to get emails in your audience list. The next way is, if you go to add contacts, you can import contacts. There are three ways how you can import contacts. You can import contacts from another service. Yeah, so where you connect with another piece of software. You can upload a CSV file or a text file, and you can even copy and paste. Yeah, so if I import from another service, you can see you can import for Salesforce, from Squarespace, from Shopify, and there's probably a lot more integrations that you can have. If you want to upload a file, it will then basically ask you to upload your file. So what we need to do, we need to create a spreadsheet that we save as a CSV file. So if I go to Google Drive, and I'm going to, actually I already have a file here. Yeah, so let's open this file. So you see that I have these names in there. I'm going to take them out. Very important that you add first name, last name, company, email, and all the fields that are relevant for you. Yeah, so let's say telephone as well. So then we're going to say the first name is Jacob, last name is Jones, company is Bico, and email is jacob@jones.com. Telephone number is 01234567. Yep, then the second name is Anne-Marie, Carol, and that is carol.com, and that is Anne@carol.com, and that is 9876654, telephone number. Okay, let's take out that $sign. Right, yes, so now I have the file, and this name is Mailchimp, or whatever, Mailchimp 1. So the first thing I'm going to do, of course, is to save this. I am going to download this file as a comma-separated values file, which is a CSV file. And Mailchimp wants me to upload this CSV file into this field. Yeah, so that's how I can upload my contacts. So I'm going to my YouTube downloads. Here is my Mailchimp CSV file. Yep, so there it is. I'm going to continue to organize. Now, the first thing that Mailchimp is going to do now, if there are any existing contacts, they will be updated. The first thing, I can add a tag. Yes, so I'm going to, let's say, a member, and I'm going to continue to match. That is what Mailchimp is going to do now.
In today's course, we are going to show you how AI is changing the game in email marketing, making it easier and more efficient to reach your audience. So first, we'll talk about how AI helps you send better emails, get more opens, and improve your sales. So let's dive right in. So first, we'll get started with introduction to artificial intelligence, what is email marketing, how AI works in email marketing, predictive versus generative AI, and how AI in email marketing can increase your performance. We'll also look into the challenges of implementing AI in email marketing, AI's role in email content creation, improving ROI with AI in email marketing, best practices for using AI in email marketing, and we will also look at some future trends in AI for email marketing. And at last, we're going to look into the live demo, that is how to create email campaigns using AI tools and writing catchy email subject lines and content AI, like with using ChatGPT, and also demonstrating tools for bulk email sending. So without any further ado, let's get started with the very first topic, which is what is artificial intelligence. So now let's understand what is artificial intelligence first. So as we know that AI enables machines to think and act like us. Yes, like humans. Imagine a computer or a robot that can learn, reason, solve problems, and even understand language, just like we do. From recognizing patterns to making decisions, AI mimics the cognitive abilities of the human brain. And by studying how we think and process information, AI systems are designed to think smarter and more efficiently, enabling them to perform tasks that once required human intelligence. So whether it's recommending your next favorite movie or driving a car autonomously, AI is shaping the future in ways we once only imagined. Now tell me, does this sound intriguing, making you wonder how AI accomplishes all this? Yes. So in the following part, we will learn what email marketing is, how AI works in email marketing, and many more. Now let's understand what is email marketing. So email marketing is a way of delivering effective messages to convert leads into sales by sending personalized emails to target customers. It also helps us to educate our target consumers on the value of our product. Talking about the importance of email marketing, so first of all, it costs lesser as compared to other marketing channels. It shows a higher ROI, that is return on investment, and it also helps in attracting new customers. It's easy integration with other communication channels as well. Then it will also help you in assisting and creating targeted and personalized messages. It helps higher intent client to engage with your business, and it will also help you reach larger audiences and even smaller targeted lists. Now that you have understood the importance of email marketing, let's understand how we can use AI in email marketing. Well, AI in email marketing involves the use of machine learning algorithms and advanced analytics to automate, optimize, and personalize email campaigns. AI enhances email marketing strategies by improving targeting, customizing content, and predicting customer behavior. The integration of AI can lead more efficient email campaigns, increasing engagement and driving better results over time. So how does AI works in email marketing? First of all, it helps in personalization, that is, AI leverages user data such as demographics, past behaviors like clicks, open purchases, and preferences to tailor email content. AI can automatically adjust email content based on individual user behavior, ensuring that recipients receive relevant and personalized messages. Second of all is optimization. Now, AI analyzes patterns in historical data, enabling marketers to optimize and send times, subject lines, and email content. Predictive models use engagement data to determine when users are most likely to open an email and respond to a call to action. Third is segmentation. Now, AI allows email marketers to segment their audience with higher accuracy. It dynamically divides customers into groups based on similarities such as purchase history or browsing behavior. Now, these segments can then receive specific targeted emails designed to maximize engagement. So first, let's talk about predictive AI. Now, this type of AI analyzes historical data and helps marketers forecast future actions. For example, it can predict the likelihood of a user opening an email or making a purchase based on previous interactions. It also helps marketers optimize when and what type of content to send. Next is generative AI. Now, unlike predictive AI, generative AI uses past data to create new content such as email subject lines, body text, and offers. Generative AI can craft emails tailored to specific customer segments and scale content creation that will save a lot of time while delivering highly relevant content. Now, together, these AI tools automate tasks, improve personalization, and also optimize email campaigns for higher performance. Now, let's move on and talk about how AI in email marketing increase performance. Well, AI has changed email marketing by boosting performance metrics such as open rates, click-through rates, and conversions. Now, by understanding user preference, AI can ensure that your emails are engaging, timely, and also relevant. Now, let's talk about the key ways AI enhances email performance. First of all is personalized and targeting messaging. So, AI helps marketers deliver personalized email content at scale. So, it uses customer data to tailor emails for different segments, ensuring each recipient gets content that resonates with their preferences and their interests. Now, this level of personalization drives higher engagement. Second thing we are talking about is the optimized timing. Now, predictive AI analyzes when customers are most likely to interact with your emails based on your past behaviors. For instance, it can predict that a particular customer tends to open emails around 8 a.m. on weekdays. Now, by sending emails at the optimal time, AI ensures higher open rates and minimizes the chance of emails being ignored. Third, we are going to talk about is behavior-based segmentation. Now, AI dynamically segments email lists based on real-time behaviors such as product views, cart abandonment, or past purchase history. Now, this will help marketers deliver highly relevant messages like sending a cart reminder to customers who have abandoned their shopping cart or sending product recommendation based on your browsing history. Now, let's talk about the fourth way to enhance our email performance. That is using email A/B testing. Now, AI significantly streamlines the A/B testing process by automating and analyzing tests for subject lines, contents, and call to actions. So, by continuously learning from customer responses, AI refines the campaign strategy, which leads to higher conversion rates and better messaging. For example, AI can test different subject lines, determine which one performs the best, and implement it across all the future campaigns. The fifth one is enhancing customer experience. Now, as AI learns more about the individual recipient, it can refine the customer experience by tailoring content more effectively. AI can dynamically alter the design, layout, and content of the email depending on the user's preference, past interactions, and demographic data. Now, let's look at an example from a marketer's perspective. Now, one marketer shared that their A/B testing improved 10x by using AI, not just the subject lines, but also for the user behavior analysis. Now with AI, they could test email content designs and even images that resonate with their target audience, allowing for more strategic email sends. So now that you have understood an example from a marketer's perspective, let's move on and talk about what are the challenges with AI in email marketing. Now, despite the many benefits of AI, marketers face several challenges when adopting and integrating AI into their email campaigns. Now, these challenges can hinder the effective use of AI unless addressed properly. So, the first challenge of implementing AI is the data quality and availability. Now, AI heavily relies on data to make accurate predictions. If the data you provide is inconsistent or incorrect, now AI cannot generate useful insights. So, it's very important and crucial to maintain clean, structured, and updated customer data to ensure AI tools can function optimally. Second thing is, marketers must ensure data quality and have a solid data strategy to help AI provide actionable insights. The second challenges we are going to look is the ethical concerns and privacy issues. Now, AI uses personal data to personalize messages, which raises ethical concerns regarding privacy and data security. The marketers must ensure that they are compliant with regulations such as GDPR, which is General Data Protection Regulation, and CCPA, which is California Consumer Privacy Act, when using AI. There is also the challenge of building consumer trust. Brands need to be transparent about how customer data is being used and ensure that AI-powered personalizations respect privacy concerns. Now, the next challenge we are going to talk about is some technical expertise. Now, by implementing AI in email marketing, it requires a certain level of technical knowledge as well. Now, for companies that are new to AI or lack in-house expertise, there is a steep learning curve. Marketers may need to invest in training or hire specialists to integrate with tools properly into their campaigns. Now, the fourth challenge is cost of AI implementation. Now, while AI provides powerful tools, many advanced AI solutions come with a high upfront cost. For small businesses or those just starting out with AI, the cost of implementation can be prohibitive. Additionally, the time required to learn and manage AI tool can be significant investment. Now let's look over the challenge, which is over-reliance on automation. Now, while AI automation streamlines workflow, over-relying on AI for content creation and customer interaction may lead to lack of human touch. Now, email marketing is still about building relationship with customers, and AI should be seen as a tool to assist, not replace human creativity. Now you might be wondering that how can AI help with my email content? Well, AI can significantly enhance the creation of personalized email content that speaks to each individual's recipient. Let's understand the AI's role in content creation. First is personalization at scale. Now, AI enables marketers to create highly personalized content at a scale. For example, a marketer for an e-commerce brand can automatically generate personalized product recommendation based on each customer's past purchases and browsing behavior. Second is automating content variations. Now, with the help of AI, you can create multiple versions of the same email tailored for different audience segments. Now, this can include changes in the subject line, offer, CTA, or images based on what resonates most with the specific segment. Third, we are going to talk about is dynamic content. Now, AI can insert dynamic content based on real-time data. For example, if a customer has recently interacted with a specific product on their website, AI can automatically add that product into the email content as a recommendation, ensuring relevance and increasing the chances of conversion. The fourth point is the content optimization. Now, AI can analyze past email campaigns to identify which type of content, for example, visuals, copy, offers, works the best. Now, this data can be used to optimize future emails, ensuring that each piece of content resonates better with its audience. So now that you have understood how can AI help you with your email content and the content creation, let's switch our gears and understand how does AI in email marketing improve ROI over time, which is return on investment. So as we know, AI is instrumental in improving the return on investment, which is ROI of email marketing campaigns. So its ability to personalize content, automate testing, and optimize send times will lead to higher conversion rates, and it will lead to reduced cost. So now that you have understood how AI in email marketing can boost, let's understand the key drivers of AI improved ROI. So at first, we have got segmentation and targeting. So by analyzing customer data, AI helps marketers create more accurate audience segments. Targeting the right audience with the right message significantly can improve the likelihood of conversions and reduces marketing waste. Second, we have got automation and efficiency. Now, AI automates many aspects of email marketing, such as content creation, A/B testing, and send time optimization. Now, this automation frees up time for marketers to focus on strategy, resulting in cost savings and increased efficiency. Then we've got predictive analytics. Now, AI uses predictive analytics to identify which customers are most likely to convert, allowing for better targeting and resource allocation. By focusing on high value leads, marketers can maximize their ROI over time. Then we've got enhanced customer engagement. Now, through personalization and relevance, AI will help increasing customer engagement, which will lead to higher open rates and click-through rates, which is the CTR. Now, over time, this will lead to greater brand loyalty, repeat purchases, and an increase in customer lifetime value, which is the CLV. So guys, now let's understand what are the best practices for also using AI in email marketing. Now, to successfully implement AI in email marketing, marketers should follow certain best practices to ensure the technology is used ethically, effectively, and in line with the business goals. So first, we have got establishing clear goals. Now, setting clear objectives for AI use in email marketing, determining what you want to achieve, whether it's increased personalization, better targeting, or higher engagement, is very important. Second, we have got ethical AI usage. Implement ethical AI practices by ensuring transparency and compliance with privacy regulation, which is the GDPR. Respect customer data and inform them of how it will be used. Then we've got start with easy to use tools. So for beginners, start with no-code AI tools like send time optimization, content generation, and subject line testing. So as you become more comfortable, you can expand to more complex AI applications. Then we have got leveraging data. Now integrating AI with your customer data platform CDP to get a unified view of your audience. You can use this data to personalize emails and improve targeting. Then we've got testing and iterating. Now continuously testing and refining AI models and email campaigns. Now A/B testing, real-time personalization, and data-driven iterations are very important to fine-tuning the email marketing strategy. So that was for the best practices for using AI in email marketing. So now that you have understood the best practices of using AI in email marketing, let's understand what's ahead for AI in email marketing. Now, as we know that AI is set to continue transforming email marketing by improving personalization, enhancing automation, and enabling smarter decision making. So now let's look at some future trends. At first is creating more personalized content. So generative AI will be able to create highly personalized email content for individual users, not just for customer segments. Second, we've got faster campaign execution. Now, as we know that AI tools evolve, marketers will be able to deploy email campaigns more quickly, reducing turnaround times and accelerating content creation. Then we've got data-driven creativity. AI will enhance creativity by providing data-driven insights into which types of content, images, and designs are most likely to resonate with customers, making marketing much more efficient and also impactful. Then we've got trust and transparency. So as marketers focus more on first-party data, AI will help build trust with customers by ensuring transparency and compliance with data privacy regulations. Now that we have understood the future trends and what's ahead for AI in email marketing, now in the next session, we will understand the live demo on how to create email design in Canva using Mailchimp as well. So now let's see how you can create email campaigns using Canva and also Mailchimp. So first, we'll just head over to Canva. So for this, you just have to first sign up if you don't have an account already, or else you can just log in into your Canva account. Now from here, as you can see, this is the dashboard, and you can just select any particular, you can create designs, whether it's for your presentation, social media, website, doc, anything, maybe your emails, anything. Also, you get plenty of templates available here, as you can see, and you can also, browse as per as your category wise. If you're making for your Instagram post or for some educational website, or maybe for marketing or cards and invitation, you've got plenty of templates from which you can just select and simply change the content if you want to, and your template and your particular card, email, newsletter would be just ready in few minutes. So guys, now we'll just head over to this home section, and then we can just search our content, which would be our email newsletter for now. And as you can see, we've got plenty of templates available. Alright, so I want to create an email newsletter for my skincare brand. So from here, I'll just select category. So I'll just search your email newsletter and I'll just type for skincare. And let's see what templates am I getting. Alright, so these are pretty number of templates. But remember, these are the pro versions, so we'll just have a look at the free versions available. Alright, so really like this one, we'll just click on this template, and then we'll just click on customize this template from here. Okay, so this would be a template for my skincare brand, and from this section you can just head over to the design if you want to change the design of your template, and you can just alter the styles from here. These are the color palettes and the image palettes combination. So let's suppose if you want to make it quite dark, you can just use this particular color palette. Or if you want to make it light, I mean whatever color you think looks good. I think this one looks much more better. So we'll just keep it as this particular template color selected. And then from the elements, you can just use any elements if you want to, or you can also generate your own using the AI image generator. And then we can just change, let's suppose my newsletter and my email campaign, I want it for like 50% off sale, so I'll just enter here 50% sale. Okay, and I think the text color is quite light, so we'll just change the color of the text to maybe black. Oh yeah, so this looks better. You can also use charts, polls, quizzes, tables, frame if you want to. Let's suppose I also want to add a sticker of maybe like a sale or something. Alright, we have this glow up thing here. So if I add this, is it looking good? I don't think so. So we'll just adjust it. Or maybe we'll just remove this particular sticker from here. And yeah, so if I want to change the image of this, or maybe this, we'll just head over to, we'll just go back to the stickers and this section, the images one. You can also insert videos if you want to, but I don't think so. It's free of cost. So maybe for the skincare brand, we'll just get plenty of images. Let's suppose I want to use this. Alright. So I'll just click on this and then we can use this particular image here. So I think the previous one was better because this is in a portrait mode. So we would want something more like the landscape version. So here, maybe suppose I want to use this image instead of this. Alright, we'll just keep it here. And we'll just change the color of this font because it's not looking that visible. And I just want to change this image, so I'll pick up another image from here. Maybe this works better. Okay, so I think this is better, right? And for this, we'll just click on this black color thing. Make it more visible. I don't think so it's visible now. So we will again use maybe more light color. Let's see if white works. Yeah. So this looks better. We'll even make this more white and let's see. So I think this looks better now. And if you want, you can also change the content more. So yeah, this looks a bit not that much interactive. So we'll just put some more emojis. Okay. We also have this effects option from here. So you can use such effects also. Let's say if you want this particular or this shape. I think this shape is better, right? You just make it more, increase maybe the intensity. No, this looks better. Okay. If you want, you can also add shapes from here, but I don't think so it's of any use for me now. Okay. We also have these mockups, very different mockups and the collections also. I think this is for this is fine now, and we'll just type something. Keep your skin healthy and glowing using our product. And then we can write something like, hurry up and grab them now. Okay. And we'll just increase the size of our text. And maybe change the font as well. So maybe this particular font looks better. So we'll just keep the adjustment here, maybe in between. And you can remove the punctuations if you want to. And for this hurry up, I want to increase the size of this. So this looks better. And in place of our products, we can write limited sale. Okay. And yeah, this looks pretty much convincing now. We have given 50% sale, glow your skin naturally. Limited sale is there, hurry up and grab now. And that's pretty cool for now. So this is how our page would look like. And here you can just edit and give your website name, your product website name. So we can also add one more page here. And here again you can use another template. Let's check if we could use some more templates from here. Yeah, so maybe I want to use this template, so I'll just add as a new page here. Okay, so we'll just remove this. Okay. So this is our first page, 50% sale, and this would be our second page from here. You can add your Instagram channel, your social media as well. So this is the price rating, and we also have options as a shop now. Again, if you want to change it, suppose I want to remove this skin glow thing and I want to keep this thing only, and everything would be the same because it looks fine. Alright, so as you can see, we'll just change a bit of color thing because I think this looks now better, the color palette. Alright, so yeah, so it's done now. And from here again, if you want to upload or you can connect your Instagram page from here, you can also do that. We also have this video section where you can insert your videos. So for now, we'll just do this thing, and so our email template, our email campaign is ready now. What we will do is we'll just share this, so you can just download on this option from here, and we'll just opt for this JPEG image from here, and we'll keep the size, and just download both the pages, and just click on download from here. Yeah, it's getting downloading, so we'll just wait for a few seconds. So as you can see, our download has been completed. So we'll just extract this particular file from here. We'll just click on extract all, and then just click on extract. Yeah, so our images is ready. So as you can see that we have used Canva to create our email campaign. So next I'll be showing you how you can use Mailchimp to actually create and integrate this Canva template email campaign which we have created and converted into the campaign newsletter. So we'll just head over to Mailchimp.com first, and yeah, this is our website ready. So we'll be using the free version now. So as you can see that you can turn your emails into revenue. So Mailchimp is actually an email marketing company. So where you can get plenty of options. With that, you can grow your audience with high quality leads. You can also refine the segmentation. You can create email campaigns much more faster using generative AI. You also get these automations, email automations options from here. So if you want the paid version, you also get that. So we have got this offer starting, which is 50% off for 12 months. Alright, so we'll just click on login. And now since we already have our account, So we've been headed to this Mailchimp website here, and you can see in the navigation bar we've got this home where we have the email performance option here. So once you can send an email, once you use Mailchimp for sending emails, your data will be shown here. The click rate percentage, the open rate, orders, order rate, and many things as well. So for now, in this tutorial, we'll just click on the campaigns option, and here we can get the email campaign option, which is the campaigns here. Okay, so for this, we'll just have to click on create for now, and then in the email section, you get this regular plain text or template. So if you want to use a regular template, or you can use anything you want to, and we'll just use a regular one for now, and you can just enter your email name. And then you can just select begin from here. Alright, so now this is an option where how do you want to design your email. So you can use the template or blank image, or you can just customize it as per your needs. So the first option is to whom are you sending the email. So you can actually import your contacts from here. So it would be better for you, like if you create a sheet and you can also connect to a store, or you can upload a file and then copy paste the contacts if whatever you want to. So whomever are you sending these particular emails in bulk, you can simply enter their contact address, and then all the email, the newsletter, the email campaign which we are generating will be sent to them. And then we have got this option of from which are you sending. So the name of my skincare brand, let's suppose it's Zyka. Okay, and this is the email address here, and we'll just enter the subject of just click on save here, and the subject would be, let's suppose my subject name would be 50% off on, this would be April sale. Okay, and you can add also an emoji from here which would make it look more interactive. I've added this heart emoji, and then the preview text will be limited sale, limited stock. Okay, and then you can again add an emoji. Okay, and now this would be our subject and our preview text, which is saved from here. Okay. Now the main part begins, which is designing our email. So we'll just click on this design email from here. Yeah, so we've got these templates, the basic layouts, the fully designed one, crafts, code your own, whatever you want to select. So let's suppose I want, these are the free version mostly. So we'll just click on the basic template from here. Okay, we'll just click on apply. Yeah, so it says that you can add your text from here. So this will just remove these options. You can drop your content here. So we'll just click on this image option, and then from here you can add an image, which would be the obviously the one which we had created in Canva. So we'll just click on uploads from here, and then we'll just select upload. So this is our first image. We'll just click open. So our image is being uploaded. Yeah. So as you can see, this was the image you remember we had created before. Alright. So this is the first page, how it looks like. And again, you can drop your content here, which would be the text you want. I think this looks better. And then you can edit your image, which would make it more enhancing. So after editing our image, we'll just actually crop it. Okay, we'll just click on this. So we'll just actually crop it from here. Limited say, we'll just keep it till here, right? Alright, this looks better. So this is our first image again. Again for this image, we'll just click on add image, and now we will just select the second image of ours, which would be this one which we had created before. Yes. And now we will again click on edit image. And you can basically chop this part because it's not needed. So we'll just click on choose a skincare. So we'll just remove the first portion. Alright, we want to keep it till here only. And then just select on save. Now you see this is ready and we don't need this thing, so we'll remove it. And these are the websites, the social media websites, whatever you want to select. So if you want LinkedIn, Pinterest or whatever, so let's suppose I want the Pinterest, and you can enter your link also from here. Then we have LinkedIn. You can also select Instagram, Facebook or whatever you want to. And then we have got this option as follow links to your social channel. Then we've got the share option where your recipients post to their social channels. And then I think it's fine. So if you want to change the style of the icon from here, we are using the dark icons. But if you want, you can also use the colored icons or the dark one. I think the colored one looks much more enhancing. We'll also delete this particular line and this image as well. Yeah. So our email newsletter is ready now. So we can just click on save and exit from here. Alright, so this is the email campaign which we have created. As you can see, it looks pretty cool, right? So the users, the recipients, they'll just see the 50% sale, glow your skin, limited sale is there. And after clicking this order now, they can actually order the particular, they'll be headed to the website and they can order their products if they want to. And this is a subject and a preview text. And then we can also view this mobile thing. So how it will look actually in a mobile. And then this is the inbox preview. Now if you want to send as a test email, you can also do that. So for now, we'll just keep it till here. And now you're seeing, so we'll just close this. Okay. So guys, we have learned how to actually create our email campaigns using this Mailchimp as well as Canva. Now the last thing would be you can actually schedule your content. You can just select the send time. You can actually schedule whatever time you want to. I think for this you will have to upgrade your plan, but it's best if you find a particular time for posting your email campaign. I mean, maybe on weekends day, usually people log in the afternoon, and the weekdays time people actually log into their email. I mean, suppose around maybe in the morning. So that would be fine. So you can actually schedule according to the post and the engagement, how the viewers and the audiences are using the mail. All right. Now, in this session, we have done with this particular thing, and now the next we'll be learning about how we can use ChatGPT in email marketing. So in this particular lecture, we'll see how we can use ChatGPT in email marketing. So the first thing is, first we have to go to ChatGPT here. You can just log in from your account, and the thing is, you can actually customize your GPT as per as your need. So we'll just click on this ChatGPT option. We'll just click on this Explore GPTs from here, and we'll just select the Create option. All right. So as you can see, if you want to create your customized GPT for crafting email or asking me feedback on a particular project update, so ChatGPT will create a concise, polite, and direct message that will encourage a response with the information needed. So you can actually provide custom instructions to ChatGPT. You will need to customize your settings. So once you're logged in, as I told you before, just click on New GPT. And you can set your preferences. That is, you can fill out the prompts to tell the ChatGPT. So crafting a clear prompt is very important. So with your context and your preferences set, you can instruct ChatGPT to write the email which you need. Remember, be specific about the tone. That is, whatever tone you want to select, may it be polite, urgent, or formal. So let's suppose I want to write, I want you to train me to create emails regarding category would be maybe a resignation mail. Okay, so I'll just give you this thing, and it will actually create a customized GPT first. We'll just wait for a few seconds. No, the name should be email assistant. Okay. Yeah. So it's actually creating a profile picture for my GPT needed. So as you can see that our profile picture is also set for our customized GPT, which is our email assistant, and we'll just click on yes from here. So now we are creating actually our customized email assistant. There you can actually start with your email, I mean whatever email you want the GPT to make it for you. Just write good to go. So now in the preview chat, we can actually write our prompt regarding the mail we want to generate. So let's say I'll just give a prompt like write a resignation mail with natural tone, thanking my employer for this opportunity and informing them about my last working day, which would be 245 days from today. Okay, so I'll just click enter now. Let's see. So it's given certainly as a professional resignation email with a natural tone and respectful tone, including gratitude. So here's your subject, which is the resignation notice. Dear, you can enter your manager's name. I hope you're well. So I'm ready to formally resign at my position at this particular company, and the last working day, you can just enter the last date from today onwards. And this was not an easy decision to make. So as you can see how clearly and in such a natural tone it has actually written an email for you. Now, if you think if the initial draft isn't quite right, then you can again ask ChatGPT to regenerate the response until it aligns with your expectations. So if you want, you can just enter the name, title, contact information. If you want all the mail to be ready, get ready by the GPT itself. So you can also give the prompt like maybe the full name, or my full name is this, the recipient name is this. So you can actually get the full particular mail, because here you have to actually enter your manager's name and your name as well. So you can just simply copy from here and you can just send it using your Gmail account from here. So ensure that the email looks professional and it is all aligned with your email management strategy. So this was for my resignation mail. We'll also check for one more mail. Let's suppose create an email asking for a follow-up regarding a particular project named Gen AI Collab, which was supposed to be delivered today by Yash, who is my reporting, and I am the manager. And then you can just write the tone should be natural, polite, and concise, asking about the follow-up. Okay, and just click enter. So as you can see, it has again generated a mail for us, which is the follow-up on Gen AI Collab. I hope you're doing well. I just wanted to check on the status of this. Would you please share an update? So it's very simple and very concise manner. So talking about the limitations of using ChatGPT would be, I would say that first of all, it's contextual understanding. Now ChatGPT may struggle with understanding deep, complex details of your email, especially in sensitive situations. Second is your personalization issues. Now the AI might miss personalized touches like names or specific preferences, so you can add them manually. Then we've got this accuracy concern, so you can verify any factual information like dates or figures accordingly. Then is your overuse of cliche. Now what ChatGPT does is, ChatGPT sometimes relies on generic phrases which can make your email sound less engaging. So to overcome this, you just need to keep on asking ChatGPT to again restructure my email, use this particular tone, use this particular format. So by following all these steps, now ChatGPT can help you streamline your email writing process, save your time while ensuring your emails are polished, professional, and all aligned with your communication goals. So now that we have understood how we can use ChatGPT for our email marketing, now in the next lecture, I'll see you how to use the free email marketing software, and I'll be listing you the top 5 or the 4 email marketing software which will help you to send bulk messages and emails in one go. So in this session, we are diving into the free email marketing software that will help you and allow you to send bulk emails without spending a dime. So whether you're a small business owner or a freelancer, or you're just starting with email marketing, you can get started today with absolutely no cost. So now let's take a look at 4 amazing free tools that you can use for email marketing. So first up, we have got this MailerLite. So we can just simply head over to this website from here, and just let's see what it is. So MailerLite is one of the most top-rated free email marketing tools. It's known for its ease of use and great deliverability, and you can just recheck the notifications. So you can just dive into the features and see how we can use it actually. So you can just sign up for free, and then you can enter your company organization name. I'll just simply sign up with my Google account. So from here, you can just enter your account name. You can just type email tools and just click on continue. So you just have to accept this terms and condition as well and just click on continue again. So now we are head over to this dashboard of MailerLite. So you can see from here, you just have to complete your profile, and this is the navigation bar. We've got these campaigns options, so let's explore what's there. So I think we'll just have to complete our profile thing first. So we've got these two options from here, the product, which is the mailer check and the mailer send. So with the help of mailer check, you can take control of your email list and increase open rates and ROI with quick, reliable insights. Then we've got this mailer send, where you can send transactional messaging builds to be scaled quickly and for the entire team to contribute. So these were the extra products of this MailerLite version. So this is the dashboard, and it's saying our performance reviews as well. We'll just click on again this campaign option. Okay, so you can actually create your first campaign. You can pick any editor and design a campaign in minutes. Also, these are the advanced features, which is the A/B testing, which makes it easy to find which elements work. So we'll just check and we'll just click on create. So there are multiple options. Either you want to create a regular campaign, a EP split campaign, RSS campaign. So when we create this regular campaign, you can just enter your campaign name, your subject, the sender, okay, and then you can have this pre-header tools and everything. So you have to actually import your contact list from here, and in this way you can actually send your emails in bulk. You can also select your audience. Either you use your pre-existing audience or you can upload your context manually. So just have to enter the details and we have the content, and then you can actually review and schedule accordingly. Okay. So now that we have seen this thing, the second tool we'll be talking about is the Brevo. So we'll just search Brevo on Google. Yeah, so it is the number one. So as you can see, the first website which we get Brevo. So we'll just click here. and again you can sign up for free. So basically Brevo, it was formerly known as Sendinblue, and it's perfect for people who are looking for more than just email marketing. So because Brevo also offers, and it includes a CRM and an SMS capabilities, which is free of plan. So there are many, you can have this marketing platform, sales platform. If you're using for marketing purposes, you will get these features, which are the email marketing, Aura AI, SMS, and all of these things. So this was pretty cool. And again, you can just sign up for free and just will have a look at the interface of the Brevo. Again, you need to just sign in with your Google account. So basically, these tools are free of cost. You would not have to pay any particular amount for these. You can enter your company name and your website and just click on continue. So you can just select your contacts and how many people are there in your team. And do you sell online? Yes or no? Of course, we sell online. You can just click on continue here. So we'll be using the free version here. So we will get up to 300 emails to send per day, and also customizable email templates as well. We've got these drag and drop editor feature, then the transactional email. So you can just click on the free version and just click on continue with free plan, and you'll be redirected to the website and the interface of Brevo here. And yeah, so you can see that you have this campaigns option, the contacts option. So here you'll have these lists of contacts. So you can actually load a list or a segment of your contact. Then you've got this company, the landing pages, and then we've got these campaigns options. So maybe WhatsApp, web push. So for now we're just looking for email. So we'll just click on email and you can just enter your campaign name, which is maybe 50% offer. Okay, and just create this campaign. Okay, so here you just have to manage the sender, the recipients. You can add your recipients. Again, I told you, just import the contact list file, then you have the subject, and then you can start designing your template. So you've got these plenty of this template gallery. You can use any particular template from here you want to use, and then your email campaign would be ready. So it's like same as how we used it for the other tools also. Now the third AI tool on our list is Omnisend, and let's head over to this website first and see what this tool is like. So this is the third AI tool which we are discussing. So basically Omnisend is especially great for e-commerce businesses. Now if you run an online store or anything, Omnisend's free plan has some cool features that will allow you to create and check out. So we'll just click on start for free and we'll just see the features of the Omnisend. So you can just sign up with your Google account first. So as you can see, we have head over to this website from here. You can actually connect your Shopify account with this Omnisend, where you can personalize your brand email, set up automations like cart abandonment, segment and target your customers also. So we've got these campaigns option from here. So just click on that campaigns option. We also have this automation forms, audience reports, and many things. So we'll just be looking at the email campaign. So you can actually create an email campaign. It must be the same as the other free AI tools, but this is one more additional feature we have got in here. Yeah, so you can actually enter your subject line, sender's name, the same thing which we did before. Then you can email template. We've got the email template from here. You can actually choose your email template like how you did for your Canva and Mailchimp as well. So yeah, it's pretty cool. And now we'll just be seeing at our the last AI tool. So finally, we've got the Sender. Now, if you're looking for a tool with a generous free plan, now Sender offers one of the most best options. So you'll have to actually sign up first and then you can upload your contacts. You can create emails. Now, Sender comes up with easy to use email builders. So you can actually drag and drop elements like images, text, buttons into your email. It also has features for adding product URLs, making it easy to promote your products. We've also got options like automations and support, limitations, and everything. So you can actually sign up for free and just look over it. It's basically the same as we did for the other AI tools as well. So guys, each tool has its own unique features. So the best one for you really depends on your needs. All of them offers free plan. So you can try them out and see which one works best for your business. So guys, we have completed and we have come to the end of our course. Congratulations on completing the AI for Marketing course. Now you have built a strong foundation on how to use AI for your email campaigns and creating email marketing campaigns. Now from understanding the core components using tools like Mailchimp, Canva, all of these things, and you have understood everything. And also we have seen how we can use ChatGPT to leverage our email campaigns. Now, as we move forward, you continue experimenting with your own AI tools and refining on how you can actually leverage with other AI tools as well.
In today's video, we are going to be talking about content writing. Now, we'll talk about why it is important, how do you write good content, what are the different types of content that you can write for, and for the different types of media that you want to use. And I'm going to share with you some really good content writing tools. I am Mark Kempman, I'm your digital navigator for this video. But before we start, if you like this video, click the like button, and if you want to join our subscribers, click the subscribe button and click on the notifications button as well, so you will get automatic notifications when we come up with new videos. So, you're ready? Let's get started. Let me give you some interesting statistics about content and about content marketing, of which content writing is an important part. Did you know that the content marketing industry is worth more than $400 billion, which is going to grow to close to $900 billion in the next 5 years? 46% of businesses plan to increase their spend in content creation. Content marketing costs 62% less than traditional outbound marketing methods, and it generates 3 times more leads. So quite impressive numbers, yeah? Among buyers of B2B products and services, more than 90% consider content to be worthwhile when they evaluate any business. So we spend on average 7 hours per day consuming digital content. And a lot of this content is being consumed on blogs. Did you know that there are over 500 million blogs on the internet? And on WordPress, about 70 million blog posts are published each month. So these are incredible numbers, and we're going to be talking about that. Yeah, in this section, in this module, we're going to be talking about a very important part of content marketing, which is the actual creation of content, particularly when it comes to writing. Right? So let's get started. What are we going to be talking about? In this video, we are going to be talking about many things in the content marketing industry. Did you know that content writing is one of the fastest changing areas of content marketing? Now, you may wonder what. Let me give you the answer to this. That is mainly because of developments in artificial intelligence. If you use AI or artificial intelligence tools, you actually no longer have to write the content. You let those tools write the content for you. And the only thing you will have to do is to edit the output of the AI tool. Later, I'm going to share some AI tools with you that you can be using for content writing. But to understand these new tools, it is important that you understand the basics of content writing. So in this video, we will look at what is content writing, why proper content writing is important. We'll look at the different types of content that you can write for. We'll look at how to write proper content, and that is a skill in itself. And I'm going to close with giving you some content writing tips. And in the process of going through these topics, I will be sharing with you some interesting content writing tools as well. So let's start at the beginning. What is content writing? Many people, when they think about content writing, they think about writing an article. However, writing content isn't just for a blog. Yeah, it is for many topics, many other areas that you can write for. You can write for many different areas. You can write a script for your video. You can write for your email newsletter. You can write for the pages of your website. You maybe have to write a keynote speech, maybe for your social media posts. You have to write titles for your podcast, for your videos. Maybe you're going to produce a white paper that you need to write for, or an ebook. Landing pages are very important content that you have to write for. It could be the descriptions for your videos. Remember, we talked about YouTube SEO, and we talked about how important the description of your video is. And writing for SEO purposes. We talked about that in other videos as well. Put it in another way, writing is the foundation for pretty much any content that you publish. So what then is content writing? Content writing, as we say on the slide, is the process of planning, writing and editing web content, typically for digital marketing purposes. So it can include writing a blog post and articles, a script for your videos, it could be writing the show notes for your podcast, and it can also be content for specific social media platforms. The thing they have in common, you have to write it before you can publish it. And that is where the challenge is in content writing. You need to know how to write. And many people, they don't think they know how to write. Well, for those people who are afraid of writing content, rest assured, after this video, you will be a lot less anxious to get your pen or keyboard and put your creative ideas on paper or on the screen. Yes, so that is what the basic essence of content writing is. Now, remember, content writing is not just for a blog post, as I mentioned earlier. Content writing touches every aspect of your digital marketing. Without good written content, your digital marketing strategy will fail because it's the content that will connect your readers with you. And that content that features everywhere in your digital marketing. And I can't emphasize this enough. I mentioned that before. It is on your blog post, it's on your video script, it's in your email newsletters, it's in your podcast title, it's in your landing pages, in your YouTube video descriptions. There are so many places where your content will feature. And you can replicate the content across those different platforms. So written once for one medium doesn't mean you can't use it on other medium. So what is the goal then of content marketing? The goal of good writing, of content writing, is to connect your readers with your business. And in such a way that you communicate your message effectively and efficiently. And the better you're able to do this, the more likely the reader will engage with you. So it's that engagement that turns into trust and into loyalty. So let me give you an example. You know the Michelin tires. In the early 1900s, the Michelin brothers, they started supplying pneumatic tires to automobiles in France. Now, automobiles were mainly used in Paris. And of course, the Michelin brothers, they wanted to sell their tires to more automobile users, to more car users across the country. Cars weren't that popular yet, but they wanted to give it a push so people would take their cars to the countryside. So Michelin knew that to grow their business, they had to get people to drive their cars outside Paris. And that's when the Michelin Guide was born. Yeah, a book that contained the rating systems for restaurants all over France and also included information about roads across France, where to find gas stations, about hotels, and of course information about how to replace flat tires or how to repair them and other important facts about using a car. So this early example of content marketing became a huge success, and they were able to build a global brand based on the Michelin Guide. And the Michelin Guide is still being used today. So having talked about this, what is content marketing, why then is it so important? Let's have a talk about that. Yeah, the essence of content marketing, as I said earlier, is to guide the customer or your prospects through their buying journey. Yeah, and content writing is key to this. Remember, your content that you give to people or share with people when they don't even know that where they want to go on a vacation, for instance, is different than when they have already made up their mind of going on a beach vacation in Barcelona. Yeah, if I don't know what vacation I want to find content about what are beach holidays, what are city breaks, what are adventure holidays. Yeah, if I know what I want to do, where I want to go, then I want to know informative content. I want to see content about Barcelona, about hotels in Barcelona, about what you can do during beach vacations. Yeah, so it's very important that your content drives your customer or your prospect through that buying journey. So you write content for awareness purposes. Great content that will go viral and reach as many people as possible. By creating well-informed, well-written, well-entertained and useful content, it will drive traffic to your website and you will appear higher in search engine rankings. Next, your content has to convey information. Yeah, where you capture those content, those people that have seen your content, you want to make sure that they want to see more of your content. Yeah, so you need to give them information that will persuade them to take a certain action. I want to download an ebook, or I want to know more information about something, or I want to sign up for a newsletter, or sign up for a webinar, or simply buy your product or service. In doing that, you use your content to turn awareness into interest, which will lead to more sales and will lead to referrals. It's a very simple and effective process. In marketing terms, we call this inbound marketing, where you're going to reach as many people as possible online who will then, if they're interested, come back to you and engage with you. As opposed to outbound marketing, where you will go and get a list of telephone numbers and your salesperson will call everybody one at a time with a script. Now that script needs to be written as well. In fact, that is also content writing. Yeah, but inbound marketing is a much more cost-efficient way of generating leads for businesses these days. So to summarize, instead of reaching out to individual prospects, you publish really good content that drives traffic to your website, which will lead to more leads and ultimately will lead to more sales. So let's talk about the types of content and the types of content formats. Now, when people think about digital content, they mostly think about content for your website. which is the text they see on the web pages. Now, that's very important, but there's a lot more to that. Let me show you an infographic that puts content writing into a perspective. Yep, so that is different types of content. So here is, we'll share the link to this in the description, but here you see the different types of content that can be written for. You have technical writing, you have press release writing, report writing and research writing, SEO content writing, marketing and communication writing, instructional design writing, CSR writing for social causes, editorial and publication writing, feature writing, ghost writing is a form of content writing as well, where you write for somebody else, business writing, copywriting, that is an interesting form of writing, yeah, where you look at really competitive creativity that you need to get to have very strong headlines, for instance. So a lot of different types of content that you can be writing for. So let's focus on the different types that we can use, particularly for marketing. Yeah, let me go back to the slides. Yeah, so here is a summary of the different types when it comes to e-marketing. We're looking at articles. Yeah, these are pieces that can be published in a newspaper, in a magazine, or in an online publication. Yep, and that is a very common type of content that can be written for and that you will use for your marketing purposes. There can be the traditional content like brochure or product descriptions. Yes, so a brochure is like an advertising piece that includes a template, a booklet, or a leaflet. And they have information about your products, about your services, of course, as your differentiators and how people can reach out to you. So that is an important part of content as well. Then a very important part of content is content for your website. Yeah, the pages on your website, the content in your website needs to be written. Each page needs to be written. Yeah, there needs to be written what you see, but also kind of needs to be written what you don't see, but what the search engine spiders will see. And that's, of course, when we talk about search engine optimization, very important. You write content for emails, like email newsletters. Yeah, or it could be just email campaigns. Very important part. You have your headers or your titles of your emails. You have the description, the summary of your emails. Press releases has been a long sort of a very important part of content that we've been written for many, many years. Yeah, where in the early pre-internet days, press releases were one of the most important documents to reach out to journalists. Now press releases are just another type of content that you can share with your audience. And then finally, ebooks is a very important type of content. Ebooks were also, we call those lead magnets. Yeah, they are fantastic for adding to your website where people, when they're interested, can download them. So that's where the magnet comes in. People are interested, they click on download the ebook, but before they download, they have to enter their email address and or their telephone number. So very important, different types of content that you can be focusing on. So here is the big question. Can everybody write good content? Yeah, so a lot of people think, oh no, I'm not good in writing, so I need to get a copywriter in. Now, before I can answer the question, if everybody is good in content writing, let's discuss the difference between copywriting and content writing. Often they will overlap. Yeah, and many writers, they act as both a copywriter and a content writer. But then there is a difference. It's a very subtle difference. Copywriters usually focus on persuading readers in selling a brand. It's often short form. It appears on ads, on products, on taglines, and similar types of marketing copy. So it's short, it's punchy, it's capturing the essence in a couple of statements. That's often what we call copywriting. Content writing is usually for longer form content, focusing on informing, educating, or entertaining the readers. It's content, as we said earlier, that takes the reader through their buying journey. So, while it's true that anyone can write, it's not enough to just put the words on a page. Content writers and copywriters must craft something compelling, something original, something engaging, and ultimately something well written. And when you're able to do that, of course, when you're able to do that, producing high quality content, the benefits are huge. Yeah, it gives you something to use across all your marketing channels. Yeah, so you can turn a blog post into an Instagram post, into a Facebook post, into a tweet, into a blog post on LinkedIn. Yeah, so lots of different things that you can do with a good piece of content. Good content really helps you with search engine optimization. Google will reward you for having new, fresh content on your website by giving you a higher search ranking. Good content helps you establish your authority in your niche or in your industry. Thereby, it helps you in establishing your brand. And also, good content will go viral. It will go wide, it will reach many people, and that means it will reach potentially new customers. So very important to think about these benefits that you will get from good, proper content writing. And as I said, everybody can write content, but your challenge is to make sure your copy that you write is compelling, original, engaging, and ultimately well written. But as I mentioned earlier, there are many tools now, and particularly in the artificial intelligence field, that can help you to turn boring content into very exciting content. So let me give you some tips on how to write exciting content, or as I like to call it, killer content. The first thing you need to do is to define your target audience. Yeah, who are you writing for? Do you understand their needs? Do you understand their interests? Do you understand their pains? Yeah, an ebook for a marketing director will be different than an ebook for a finance director. So you need to know who you're writing for.
So thanks for joining again, and here's how it's going to work. So if you have any questions to these questions or answers, feel free to just comment right below this video and we'll get back to you as soon as possible. We're going to go through a series of questions and I'm going to answer those questions for you. So email marketing is traditional digital marketing channel. It's been around a while, and you're going to be asked some questions that are going to encompass a lot of things related to the delivery of emails. We all check emails on a daily basis. We all receive them. Sometimes we receive emails unsolicited. Sometimes we sign up to receive emails. Sometimes we receive emails from friends. Sometimes we receive emails where we're working or previously have worked. So most people have an understanding of email. However, as a marketer, there's a little bit of a different twist to it. So we have to understand the intricacies of how email marketing works. So you're going to be asked some questions, and really the first question here is, what's the difference between a hard and a soft bounce email? So if you're a digital marketer, you're in charge of sending out lots of emails, let's just say thousands, or it could be in the hundreds of thousands of emails. You're going to get some bounces. And so you really want to know the difference between a hard and a soft bounce. So a soft bounce just means that the email message reached the recipient's mail server but bounced back as undelivered. So think of it as delivering actual mail to a post office. So it actually reached the post office, but it bounced back because maybe the person's email box was full, maybe their account was temporarily disabled, or maybe the email server wasn't necessarily able to handle that email. Now, a hard bounce is an email that that is rejected because it's an email when it happens when the email has been permanently rejected. So for example, maybe the account is no longer valid. And so let's look at some reasons again as to why a soft bounce would happen. So for example, the inbox is full or the recipient server's down. So it reached the post office, but there was a problem actually getting it into the hands of the owner, so to speak. Where the hard bounce, a little bit different. Let's just say that person is no longer working, their email's been deleted, or the email has been blacklisted somehow, okay, as spam or something to that effect. So the email server is going to identify that and it's not even going to reach the recipient. So a lot of different ways in which an email may not make its recipient. So not the most important thing to know here. The important thing to know is, listen, when you send out an email, you got to pay attention to how many get bounced back. And so next question here, what would you do to improve the click-through rate of your email? So click-through rate is simply how many people have seen your email and how many people actually clicked on a link in the email. So if 100 people saw your email but only one person clicked, then it would be a 1% click-through rate. So we want to be able to make sure we have a high click-through rate. So remember, emails are going to people who likely signed up to receive your email. And even if they are expecting the email or they're not expecting the email, you still want to follow some of these best practices here. One is to create a compelling subject line. So you want to make the subject line something that people are going to notice, take note of, or take an interest in, and say, hey, what's this all about? That's pretty interesting, and open the email. So use preview text effectively. Obviously, you want to make your email mobile friendly because most people look at their emails on their mobile phones. You want to create engaging content. Okay, so the content that's in the email obviously is going to have some links. So put some strong call to action in there, and that's one of the bullet points down below. Place a CTA where it's easily visible. So keep in mind mobile users. Most people are going to check that email on their phone, so you want to make sure you have compelling content with good CTAs in a visible location. So always check mobile as well as desktop. Obviously, in your emails, you want to make them as visual as possible. Don't make them so text heavy. You can always segment your emails, meaning if you're sending out an email, let's just say to 100 people, okay, maybe you want to divide it up, boys or girls, maybe old or young, maybe, living in one part of the country versus another part of the country. I mean, those are examples of segments. So break up the email. Don't send it to one mass email to everyone. That way you can personalize the email. If an email is personalized, the chances of somebody clicking on it are going to be greater. And then A/B test your emails. And when we say A/B test, you could send out the same email twice, except one segment's going to say get one version of the email, the other segment is going to get another version of the email. And what are the different versions? Maybe the subject line. So the subject line is different on version A versus version B. Or maybe the call to action is different. So you always want to send out different versions of the same email to a different segmented audience. That way you can actually see which segment or which version got the most clicks. Okay, so next question here is how to inform your customers about company news and establish a relationship with your target audience. Okay, so again, how do you inform your customers about what's going on in the company and how you're going to establish a relationship with that audience who's receiving that email? Well, newsletters are always the best answer here. So somebody signs up for your email, let's just say they actually purchase a product from you. Newsletters are a great way to reach out to that audience to get them to stay up to date with the latest product or an improved version of the product they purchased. And then that way they can come back and continue to purchase the product. So newsletters are a great way to reach out to your audience and actually talk to your audience. You're not talking to them verbally, you're talking to them via email. So you send out that email campaign, maybe it's once a month. Hey, we noticed you bought this product. We have similar products, just like the one you bought. Or, hey, if it's a software, maybe, hey, we've got upcoming updates to our software. Make sure you go to the website and get the updates. Or we have a new and improved version. So all these things you want to communicate to your audience via email. That's going to get them to get to the website, and that's going to get them to, purchase more, update, upgrade, whatever. So newsletters, the way to go. So again, some basic tips here. You want to create your newsletter with 90% educational and 10% promotional. So remember, you're sending out a newsletter to people who likely signed up. So you're educating them about your products. Always create interesting subject lines. You want, whether they know you or not, you want to create the subject line so somebody's going to click on it. So make sure you design your emails appropriately, okay? So if you know you're sending, let's just say baby products to mothers or expected mothers. In fact, this is a real life example because I used to work at Gap, and Baby Gap was, one of the emails groups I was responsible for. So we created an email template with softer colors. Your yellows, your light blue, it wasn't black or dark red or anything that's going to be, heavy. We knew who our audience was and we designed the template accordingly. And of course, using compelling images. So for selling baby products, you're going to put baby product images in there. I mean, it's common sense, but you'd be surprised. You got to pick and choose your images carefully, especially if you're sending to an international audience, because images can be misconstrued. And just like we mentioned with the click-through rate, you always want to have a clear CTA. Always make sure you have a CTA in a visible position, because most people are going to look at that email in a mobile phone. Okay, and then always make sure you include your contact information in the newsletter. So somebody knows where to find you, how to contact you, where to go. Maybe they have a product they want to return. Okay, so you always want to put that contact information. Normally it's at the bottom of the email, but these are all best practices. So here's some examples. Okay, we got, check out the latest cosmetics from our new collections. Notice the image and notice the call to action. So you can see trendy collections. We got some other products you may want to buy. Okay, 5 important skincare products that everyone should have. View more. So you always want to have that call to action in a very visible place. So define following metrics: open rate, click-through rate, and response rate, and forward rate. So these are metrics related to email marketing. So you're going to have to know what these are. So I already mentioned click-through rate before when we talked about best practices for improving the click-through rate. So for those of you that remember what that is, go ahead and put that in the comment section below. It's just a little pop quiz for you if anybody remembers click-through rate. But let's take a look at open rate. So open rate is the percentage of the total number of recipients who actually open the email. So if you send it to X amount of people, how many people opened it? That would be the open rate. So how many people open it, but you're going to take out the people who bounced it. Whether it's a soft bounce or hard bounce, okay, you're not going to count those people. So if you had, let's just say 20 people open the email and you sent it to 100 people, and you had nobody bounce, then it would be a 20% open rate. Okay, click-through rate. Again, pop quiz. It's just how many people actually clicked on any of the links in your email. And that's just divided by the number of emails you've sent out. Okay, response rate. Okay, so response rate is the percentage of the total recipients who clicked on the link of your email campaign and actually completed an action. So what is that action? Well, it could be downloading something, watching something, purchasing something. So that's the response rate, similar to conversion rate. If you're working in a digital marketing channel and you're driving traffic to the site, you want that traffic to do something. Well, it's no different in email marketing. We want people to take action. We're just going to divide that by the number of emails delivered, and that gives you your response rate. So let's just say you did send in 100 emails. You did get 20% open it, and of those 20, let's just say one person went on to purchase. Well, you'd have a 1% response rate. And then a forward rate, simply the forward rate refers to the rate at which your subscribers share your email with others, friends, family, etc. And you may have that as a call to action in your email. In fact, that's a best practice. So it's just the number of clicks on a share divided by the total number of delivered emails. And you're going to multiply that by 100 to get the percentage. And so most email marketing platforms do measure forward rate. Okay, let's take a look at how to recapture inactive customers. What you want to do here is re-engage subscribers with gamification. Opt for subject lines like, "We have been missing you," or "Did we do something wrong?" You want to run a poll or a competition to re-engage with your subscribers. Again, trying to get people involved. These first three are all about getting people involved. So personalize your emails. Talk to that person as if Hey, look, I haven't heard from you in a while. How about coming back and taking a look at our new products? Just as you would a friend. So design always matters, especially knowing that you're talking to customers who haven't been active. Okay, this is a segmented audience. Somebody who's inactive. So you want to have the right design, the right message, the right subject line that fits with that customer's inactivity. So you want to try and do everything you can to get that customer back. And then you want to follow a consistent schedule. Okay, so ideally, when you schedule an email, you want to schedule the best time. So you have to know your audience, obviously. And then you can always ask for feedback. Why are they inactive? Why haven't they purchased in a while? So the whole idea here, from gamification, like trying to, make a game out of it, so make it competitive, to adding polls, to really personalizing it, these are all things that you can do to get your customers back. So what are the different ways to segment buyer personas? So again, when we talk about segmentation, we're talking about taking a smaller piece of the entire pie. So what's one way to break up that pie, if you will? By geography. Okay, so with geography, you could target your audience based on that area. And it could not necessarily have to be by a part of the country. It could be all the way down to the province, the state, the actual city, the county. Okay, if you live in a small village, okay, all the way up to the continent. Okay, so think about how you would break out the segment by geography. Now, obviously, if you break it out, let's just say the United States to the southern part, well, the southern part, in the winter in the United States, the southern part is not going to be as cold as, say, the northern part. So that should tell you, hey, if we're going to send out an email in the winter, we're not going to use snow and blizzards as our theme. We're going to use probably a little bit of sun. So breaking it out by geography helps you understand where your audience lives. You also have demographic segmentation, and this is simply just age, education, income, gender, where people work. Okay, nationality, anything that's going to identify that user. So this is the best way to segment. If you know who your audience is by income or gender, you're talking to a group of like-minded people. If they're all the same age, from the same generation, then you could talk to them appropriately. Okay, you're not going to talk to an older person the same way you would a younger person. So think about demographic segmentation, because it really helps you hone in on your messaging. And you have behavioral segmentation. So behavioral is based on your audience's behavior. Have they purchased before? Have they never purchased? Were they searching for something? How long did they stay on the site? What products were they looking at? Are they a lifetime customer? So you can look at behavior and decide how you want to break out your emails by behavior. And this is a really good way. If you're not even sure who your audience is or where they live and how old they are, you could certainly break out your audience by behavior, because you know who these people are based on what they've done previously, because you're going to track that information with analytics. So, one way is obviously if somebody's purchased. That's a good way to segment, because these people believe in you, believe in your business, believe in your product. So the way you can message to somebody who's purchased before is going to be different than somebody you don't even know who they are, if they purchased or not. Okay, so behavioral segmentation to me is one of the easiest ways to segment your email list. How would you drive repeat customers through email marketing for the below scenario? Okay, so this is a pop quiz, if you will. Again, for those of you that got click-through rate correctly, kudos. Let's see if you can go 2 for 2 here. Okay, so if you know the answer to this, go ahead and comment below. But let's just say, give a few examples of subject lines to drive engagement for audiences based on the following. So if I had an audience between 20 and 30 years old that were female, and the product were sandals, okay, what would some of your subject lines be? So I'm going to give you a minute to think about that and put it in the comment section below. Now remember, this is an interview-based question, so you're going to have to think on the spot. I'm going to give you a minute, but if somebody presented that to you in an interview, you need to be able to, react fairly quickly and come up with some really attractive subject lines here. Okay, so here you go. Here's another one. So give a few examples of subject lines to drive engagement for 20 to 30 females for footwear. So you got Friday sale coming up. Buy branded sandals at the lowest price. Okay, so I like this one because it's got a strong call to action. Buy. here you go. This is even better because 50% off on branded sandals and free shipping. I mean, who can't beat free anything, including shipping? And if it's 50% off, I mean, these are key things. So you're putting the promotion and percentage off all in the subject line. So that's really going to grab somebody's attention. Weekend sale for women starts now. Okay, with a little emoji, that never hurts. So those are all good subject lines. They all tend to work because they all have an element of a best practice in there. So here you got, the Friday sale coming up is just giving people notice. Okay, the stronger call to action on the buy, you're putting the promotion in the subject line, and you're using an emoji to really just drive home the point. So all these subject lines will work. And hey, at the end of the day, remember, you want to test your subject lines. Okay, moving on to the next question. Speaking of testing, what is A/B testing, and give some examples of A/B testing? Okay, so we talked a little bit about A/B testing with subject lines. So simply, A/B testing when it comes to email marketing is just a method to analyze which of the two email campaign strategies is most effective. Okay, now you're going to do it based on open rate, you can do it based on click rate, you can do it based on response rate. Okay, remember, you're putting one version of the email against another version, whether that be the subject line, whether it be the content, call to action, whatever. So that's ideally what you're trying to do. You're trying to figure out what works for your audience. That's the end goal for A/B testing and email marketing. What's going to work? And I would highly suggest you should always do A/B testing for subject lines. Always. So some of the variables that you can test, again, subject lines, okay, you always want to try, if you got a promotion, hey, will the percentage off work? Likely it will, but let's test it up against something else, like, a generic word like discounts. You can always test the design. You can always test the personalization, the preview text. You can try out images, call to actions, exclusive offers. What particular offer is going to work? Okay, so if you're testing offers, then obviously that's going to be response rate. If you're testing CTAs, then that's going to be click-through rate. If you're testing subject lines, that's going to be open rate. So you want to be able to test different elements of the email to figure out what works and what doesn't work. Okay, so how to prevent email from getting into spam. So if you're an email marketer, this is your worst nightmare. You don't want your emails to get spammed. So that doesn't bode well for you. So most email marketing platforms like Mailchimp or Constant Contact measure spam. So some of the important ways to prevent this is, hey, improve your open rate. Remember, going back to the first question, second question, you want to have really good subject lines here. Okay? And you want to segment your audience. So if you know who you're talking to and you have a cool subject line that's going to get somebody to react and open, then that's going to prevent somebody from spamming your email. Okay, you can always customize your from to make it look like it's coming from, in this case, Rob Sanders. Check if you have included an unsubscribe link. Okay, so give people the option to unsubscribe. If they don't have the option to unsubscribe, they could just report you as spam. Make sure your emails work on different devices. Okay, you want to optimize your images for email. Make sure they're not big and they don't fit on a mobile device. Okay, prefer more text and fewer images. And then avoid grammatical issues. You want to come across as professional. You don't want somebody looking at your email like, who sent this? Why are you sending this to me? I don't want to hear from you again. I'm going to spam you. You want to prevent that. And that means a professional looking email, professional content with a really good subject line and some imagery to go along with that. Hey, you may just get somebody to open that email and get them to convert. That's the idea behind it. So these are ways to prevent somebody from actually spamming you. And then what are the best practices for email subject lines? So the subject line is probably the most important element in email marketing. So when we talked about that little pop quiz with the sandals targeting 20 to 30-year-old women, to me, I like the subject line with the 50% off. So that was a number in the subject line. So people can actually see, hey, wow, I get a whole 50%. That works better than just a discount. Okay, remember, one of those other subject lines had an emoji. So don't be afraid to include emojis in there. For example, when I send out emails using, during the spring, you might want to use flowers, perhaps, to signify, hey, it's spring, winter's over. So personalize the subject lines. Remember, that goes with segmenting. So if you know who your audience is, your subject lines can be a little bit more personal. Okay, so opt for title case subject lines. Okay, so instead of making it grammatical, for example, Okay, you want to keep your subject lines short and to the point. Remember, you want to say something that's going to draw somebody's attention. If you make it long and drawn out and boring, then people aren't going to open it. Develop a sense of urgency, like, hey, we got 50% off through Friday. So that's a little sense of urgency so people know, hey, if it's Thursday, I better open this email and check it out. And again, grammatical mistakes, that goes without saying. You always want to preview your emails before you send them out. So if you preview your emails before you send them out, have somebody else obviously receive the preview. They can be another set of eyes for you to prevent any mistakes, but also give you feedback on the imagery, the design, etc. Okay, so these are all best practices for good subject lines. Okay, so subject line is the most important element for email marketing. So just keep these in mind. Subject lines and having good subject lines is the way to get people to open it. And from there, that's half the battle. If somebody can open the email, then you've just set yourself up for better performance.
Now that we have come to the end of our full course, if you have any doubts or question, ask them in the comment section below. Our team of experts will reply you as soon as possible. Thank you guys for watching this video.